Are going first to Germany. Their next destination is unknown. Officials say it will not be Ukraine.
Fox's Rich Edson. Ukraine's not a NATO member, but NATO countries are building up forces. And while President Biden deals with the Russian invasion, he's also moving forward with his Supreme Court pick. Sources tell Fox he's made up his mind who to nominate. Retiring Justice Stephen Breyer.
Our Supreme Court team has confirmed that 3 finalists include Ketanji Brown Jackson, Leandra Kruger, and J. Michelle Childs.
Fox's Peter Doocy. The president has said he'll choose a black woman. Today, the CDC is expected to update its guidance on mask wearing as COVID declines and many states lift mandates. America's listening to Fox News.
There's a new attraction in Orlando, but unlike those famous places that trade in fantasy, Cpac is bringing a breath of fresh air, coming in from the right. Cpac is back, and we're there live on 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News, traffic.
Heading out through 75 this morning near Colonial Boulevard in Fort Myers. We have some construction going on again today, blocking a right-hand lane and shoulder northbound through the exit to Colonial. So watch out for a little bit of an activity and delay there. No crashes to worry about out across Lee, Collier, and Charlotte counties, but we do have a little fog again this morning throughout Charlotte County and some inland areas of Lee County out toward LaBelle and DeSoto County, as well toward Arcadia, so just be extra cautious out there. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After yet another day of record heat yesterday, will be just as warm today as highs climb back into the upper 80s, some of us touching 90 degrees for inland areas. Look for another quiet and dry day of weather, a mix of sun and clouds as winds persist out of the southeast to northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We keep it nice and dry for your Friday evening plans, but very mild. Temperatures in the 70s once the sun sets, only falling to 65 as we wake up on your Saturday morning. Tomorrow, another day of record-breaking heat, 88 for a forecast high. We keep with the heat into the end of the weekend. Sunday featuring a high of 87 degrees. And the dry weather persists through Saturday and Sunday as well. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
There's a reason they call tasteless, stale food leftovers. Feed your brain the right way. 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
Let's hear from Dr. Johnston at 596-BACK.
Have you ever had pain down your legs or into your hips and thought, why is this happening? There's a large nerve that comes out of your back that runs down into your leg called the sciatic nerve. This nerve can get compressed by a bulging herniated disc.
Hello. I want all the pizza to go in the anchovies.
This causes sciatica, which eventually can lead to back, leg, or hip pain, weakness, or numbness. Avoid the band-aids like anti-inflammatory, spinal injections, or painful surgery. Sciatica, as well as bulging disc neuropathy and stenosis, can now effectively be treated with non-surgical spinal decompression at Johnston Spinal Care, 596-BACK. Spinal decompression decompresses the discs and nerves, allowing them to heal. FDA cleared, safe and comfortable. Make a decision to live life without pain. Call my office, Johnston Spinal Care, for a free telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
It's a new year and a great time to upgrade your cabinets. You want Sinclair quality. You want Sinclair craftsmanship. You want Sinclair cabinets. Sinclair Custom Homes now offers their handmade, built in the USA custom cabinets without having to purchase a Sinclair custom home. You can now have the same high-quality furniture finished cabinets in your existing home. Upgrade your kitchen, your bath, your closets, even your garage. For details, visit SinclairCabinets.com. That's SinclairCabinets.com.
Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. A statement like that might get you canceled these days. Who said it? Benjamin Franklin. I'm Lori Roman, president of the American Constitutional Rights Union, and this is a Live Free Minute. The founders risked everything to fight for liberty. Imagine what they would think about COVID passports. Tying medical choices to the ability to participate in society is unconstitutional and creepy. Please join us in standing up against COVID passports, whether enacted by the government or the private sector, because without the freedom to make our own medical choices and engage in commerce, we can't live free. This Live Free Minute is brought to you by the American Constitutional Rights Union, a national nonprofit based in Naples, Florida. If you'd like to learn more, visit theacru.org. theacru.org.
Hi, I'm Thomas from Storm Shield in North Fort Myers. I'm proud to represent a company that provides a top quality product and stands behind the product and the installation. At Storm Shield, we provide Energy Star certified windows and doors, an exclusive life of home warranty which covers the entire product as well as the installation. All products are certified made in the USA. We have an elite status with Home Advisor and offer no obligation estimates. Most manufacturers have a line of products that meet a variety of budgets and options. Sometimes vendors bait top quality products to earn your business, but switch and install another. We understand that you want to protect your family and home from the elements for years to come. Our priority is ensuring your protection without breaking the bank.
Call Storm Shield today for a free, no hidden
You have to wonder what
quote
happens
at
next. Are we talking
239-491-7002.
hand-to-hand combat with
That's 239-491-7002.
citizens? We know that the government has said that they're going to provide guns to citizens.
License number CGC A60475.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral have an important message for car buyers. In honor of President's Day, Sutherland Nissan wants you to keep more presidents in your bank account. It's the President's Day sales event at Sutherland. Get an entire month of savings instead of just a day. Shop our huge selection of new Nissans and certified pre-owned Nissans. Bring your trade, no matter what it is, and get $6,000 more for it. Your $4,000 car is now worth $10,000. Your $14,000 car is now worth $20,000. You get the full value and an extra $6,000. All at your #1 certified pre-owned dealer. Hurry in, ladies and gentlemen. These presidential savings won't be in office. We mean dealership for long. Get to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much. See dealer for details.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for the veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Hey, look at us. We're back. We're live. We are live at Cpac 2022. It's Drew Steele. It's Mike Opelka.
It's time?
It is time right now. Yes. As quickly as yesterday went is just as fast as we are back on the air right now as we speak. You are not
21 hours later and boom.
You're no longer in the steakhouse or the bar, Mike Opelka. You are now here sitting at the table.
I will have you know I was in neither yesterday. Okay. But I was in the merchandise mart over here, the Cpac Mall.
Yes. By the way, for those that have not been here before, Cpac always has this, what do they call it? Delectable goodies,
it's kind of
fun times, fun. It's like imagine it's a marketplace.
Yeah, I'm wearing a hat that says "Let's Go Brandon."
Yes, if you're watching at drewsteele.com or you're watching right now on Rumble, you can see the hat. It says "Let's Go Brandon." There it is.
We're taking bets on how quickly I'll be thrown off the plane.
Yeah, I'm going to say give it 45 minutes. I'm going to say
maybe less.
Yeah,
but in there yesterday there was a small vineyard from Napa, California that was sampling their wares.
Oh, okay. So now I know where you were yesterday.
I was there.
Now I know why I couldn't find you.
From 3 to 5, and then it was nap time.
Okay.
And now it's morning.
All
and here
right.
we are.
Fantastic. All
and
right.
Jennifer's mad at me because I didn't call her and go, hey, they've got wine in here. Come in here.
Okay. None of us. I didn't know. Nobody got a hold of me either. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
I know. Well, you would have been in a wet blanket.
That's
true.
Typically are. Yeah, I am in bed at 7:30 is like you're pushing it, Mike. You're pushing it.
I know. Well, I called you because I was very upset last night.
Yeah, you were.
Aside from all the stuff going on in the world, we lost Sally Kellerman.
Yes,
yesterday.
And for those that are saying who, so did I.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Did.
And this is a thing for you.
Yeah, well, Sally Kellerman, the original Hot Lips Houlihan.
Okay.
From the movie MASH.
Yes, and also was in not Caddyshack, but it was one of the.
Keep going. It's there. It's on the tip of your tongue.
Oh,
Saliva.
It's the one with Rodney Dangerfield.
Back to School.
And it's Back to School. That's the name of the movie.
And she was Dr. Turner.
Yes, I remember.
His love interest.
She kind of had like an English. It sounded like she had an old English voice, like she was British, but she wasn't British. She had that.
No, she's just proper.
Well, you know what it is at the. Boy, I can't believe we're opening up the show with
no,
everything
this
that's going
good.
on. With, okay,
it's Friday.
Well, right, that's true. It is Friday. Just in case you're wondering what we're going to talk about this morning here at Cpac, and oh, by the way, the guests that are going to be here scheduled to appear is a cavalcade of individuals.
Cavalcade.
Basically, I'm stalling because I thought I had that pulled up on the computer, and I don't. So, coming up this morning, scheduled to appear today, 6:35, Matt Boyle is going to join us, the Washington Bureau Chief for Breitbart. A lot to talk about this morning. Also, 7:05, Doug Collins is a former congressman from Georgia.
He was on Fox this morning.
Okay,
that's a big get.
Yep, the Doug Collins podcast. He'll be here at 7:05. 7:35, our good friend Matt Whitaker will be joining us, former acting attorney general, of course, under President Trump, host of Liberty and Justice with Matt Whitaker. That's right. So he has his own little thing going on. 7:45, Matt Schlapp will be stopping by. Also in here, scheduled to be with us, 8:05, Sean Spicer. We'll see how that's going to go, because that might be one of those, hey, here he is, dropping in. Sebastian Gorka.
Good. And Gorka?
Yes, we'll be here at 8:35. So we are going to have quite the morning.
Gird your loins, people. Yes. Dr. Gorka.
And also, wait, before we go, some of the other things I wanted to mention. Trump was right. We have the audio to prove that Trump was right. And boy, it doesn't hurt. And anybody is saying that. Well, it hurts the libs when you say that. But we'll play some of the audio to prove. Once again, Peppermint Patty was called out as Peppermint Patty by Ted Cruz right here at Cpac. And Peppermint Patty responded to the fact that she was called Peppermint Patty.
Yeah, and I'm not shocked by the response. After all, she is under consideration to replace Rachel Maddow over at MSNBC. She's very good, very glib with the words. I don't consider her policies and her positions good, but she's good for that market. Did you see Ted Cruz or did you see our governor?
I did. I saw both. I was, again, here's an interesting 30,000-foot view. Boy, you smell like a Red Bull.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, we're not.
Breakfast
stop
champions.
it. Jake eats Slim Jims and you drink Red Bulls. I thought you were kidding when you said you did, but apparently not.
That's my caffeine. That's my one vice.
Yes. So Ron DeSantis. Okay, let me just put it this way.
Yeah.
There were people that were there. He was packed. It was packed. All right.
Absolutely.
But people were surprised. They were like, wow, he was really good. Like, and I'm talking about people on the row. I'm talking about people that are here, that are broadcasting, people that I know that saw him for the first time speak. They're like, hey, he's really good. Like, where have you been?
Well,
I mean, maybe it's because he's our governor, but that was a weird response. Like, wow, he's really good. Yeah, he's really good. He's better than you think.
He doesn't get enough airtime nationally.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
And you have to see him for more than a 30-second soundbite to fully understand the depth and the charisma.
Yeah.
Because there's great depth and incredible charisma, and a lot in the mainstream media are now saying, hey, this was the first 2024 candidate speech. And they're really acknowledging that. So I thought that was a very good thing. Ted Cruz, you got what Ted Cruz does.
Yeah, and he did the whole Peppermint Patty thing. Yeah. Maybe I'll just, before we go into some of the more serious topics, just in case you missed it, Ted Cruz, let me see if I have this. Here we go.
Why is our liberty so under assault? Because giant corporations, giant tech, giant government, they work together hand in hand. You look at what happened with Joe Rogan. Jen Psaki. Oh, come on, Jen Psaki doesn't get the Justin Trudeau treatment?
Meaning the booze.
All right. Peppermint Patty deserves some love.
Peppermint Patty deserves the love. And as if on cue, there's Jen Psaki. Go ahead.
But didn't somebody bring this up to her?
What?
Didn't somebody in the press pull?
This
because
right
it's like her little snitches. Hey, did you hear? Hey, Jennifer, did you?
That's
they're
what I'm
hoping to curry favor with her.
Yes, I mean, it's like, can you believe he said this? It's like, I feel like I'm back in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say the cute boy said something about, but that's not really what it is. Sorry. Okay. Here's what was said.
I have
Listen.
a question for you, and this is been happening while you've been up at the podium.
Okay.
So.
This has been happening. It's breaking news, everybody. It's been happening
I don't
while
know
you're
if
up at
you
the
heard,
podium.
but while you were doing your work.
Watch this.
I'm trying to ambush you, but I wanted to give you a chance to respond. Senator Ted Cruz is speaking at Cpac, and you came up. He called you "quote unquote" Peppermint Patty and has encouraged people to boo you. So I wanted to.
Don't tell him I like Peppermint Patty. So I'm not going to take it too offensively. Senator Cruz, I like Peppermint Patty. I'm a little tougher than that, but there you go.
Okay, I'm a little tougher. Well, all right. So, first blush, and let's just say this. Okay. I don't want to say classy move because it's Jen Psaki, but kind of a classy move. All right, she didn't get too crazy. She didn't make it too, like I like Peppermint Patty. Okay, sorry to disappoint you. Moving on. So that was okay.
Yeah.
But the real story there was not what Jen Psaki's reaction was. The real story, Mike, was the press, who are like little high school kids running to tell somebody's talking about you behind your back. It's really awful.
Yeah, the first person to bring it up is hoping to get called on at the next press conference.
Right.
Well, we have to call on her because she's the one who reported to me.
She's a good little spy.
I wonder how she feels about Colonel Klebb.
Me too. It's funny you say that because that's exactly who's Colonel Klebb.
You haven't? Okay, go to the YouTubes, people, and look up Colonel Klebb. Colonel Klebb was a Russian agent in a James Bond movie, and she has the same weird, not in nature color hair, and she's got like spike heels that can kill people, and she has a run-in with Bond. Colonel Klebb, look it up.
Okay.
My friend Chris.
So that's Jen
has
Psaki.
made that connection, and better so than Peppermint Patty.
Gotcha. All right. We are live at Cpac 22.
How many times a day do you go? What is he talking about?
You?
Yeah.
Every conversation we have?
Okay, good.
Okay, yeah, no. Even, just so you know, even conversations that we have personally, off the air, I'm doing the same thing. This is what you see here is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, I know you wanted to play this audio. Now listen, it's quite serious what's happening right now in Ukraine. Some of the video that's been out there, if you've looked at any social media, it is horrific to see, the MiG, the MiG-19 or whatever the plane is trending on Twitter, and the reason why is because just about everybody has seen the plane flying over these homes and launching a missile and the family running and the kids crying. I mean, it's some of the videos that we're seeing and some of the audio that we're hearing is striking. And Zelensky had something to say about it yesterday. The president had something to say about it yesterday. We'll play a little bit of audio, but first, Mike's got something here. What was this?
Yeah, I just felt like this is encapsulates what's going on if you were a person who lives in Ukraine, and specifically in Kiev, and you wake up in the morning or you're walking around the street, and this is what you hear. Those rockets.
Wow.
And then artillery fire. And of course, frightened children. It's endless. And the people, you have to wonder, and I just don't know how we talk about being scarred by COVID and what we've had to go through for the last couple of years and not being able to see each other's faces and lockdowns and separation. But just imagine your life in a subway station last night and for the last 2 nights because your city was being bombed. And the 2 largest cities in Ukraine are currently under military attack. And we talked yesterday about Steve Harrigan,
right,
live reporter at Fox, and how they were talking to him. And something happened, and he was shaken. Well, this morning they were asking about what the reaction is going to be, what's going on, and are there going to be troops, the Ukrainians handling things? And this is the question that was asked, and then he doesn't answer it. And the reason he doesn't answer it is kind of obvious.
You have to wonder what happens next. Are we talking hand-to-hand combat with citizens? We know that the government has said that they're going to provide guns to citizens, people just like you and me. Or do you think Russia will make a more targeted approach, march directly to the Capitol, and try and take out the president?
I'm not sure if you can hear that. It sounds like thunder behind me. It is
artillery fire. So the fight now is not far away. Overnight, we could hear
the pauses.
Overnight, we could. U.S. officials said it was 20 miles away. Now it's probably 5 or 6. It gets closer and closer. So really, we don't know how tight the circle is going to be. How close to the city center will the Russian forces come? We know it's likely they want regime change. So someone's going to have to come in here and do it. Will it be armored vehicles or will it be special forces? We don't know how big that circle is going to be around this capital.
Yeah. Just hearing him pause as he's a guy who can rip a sentence like you just at a drop of a hat. And because there is gunfire going on behind him, and he's saying now 5 or 6 miles. When I left to come down here from the room, he was saying 2 miles. So your commute every day is how long?
My commute is about 20 minutes.
Okay, how many miles?
Not many.
Okay, so there are now Russian troops at the end of your commute.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to, and again, you get back to the politics, what the president said yesterday, and maybe somewhere in the morning we'll play some clips there, as well as some comments by others, some ridiculous things, Joy Behar being one of them, and The View, and she's all upset because she can't go on her Italian trip.
That's not her name.
What is it, Joy Behar? What is
no,
it?
It's the ironically named Joy Behar.
Oh, Joy. Okay, right. Correct.
We have to point that out.
That there is the human toll, and again, because we live in a generation right now where everything's on your phone, everything's videoed, everybody. If you have people right now, as there are, as of last night in St. Petersburg, there in Russia, that were on the streets, that were protesting, and you get to see that live in real time. Imagine if this was 30 years ago, you would not hear about that at all.
And Zelensky, you would not hear from the Ukrainian president.
Correct.
He is on Instagram. Which, how desperately do you think the Russian military is trying to shut down Instagram?
Right.
Because that's the only way he's able to speak to the people he's getting. And he said he's public enemy number 1 for the Russians.
Yep.
And his family is enemy number 2.
Yeah.
And they handed out, in one town yesterday, they handed out 18,000 Kalashnikovs to the citizens and who wanted to fight. And there are reports that the airport near Kiev was taken back by the Ukrainians from the Russians.
Yeah, I heard that.
So we don't know accurately all the information that's out there, and it's certainly going to be updated daily.
And certainly the video we get to see constantly. And let's just remember something, too. You got to believe that Putin's looking at Zelensky and going, you're the guy that used to be on the TV, right? You're the comedian guy. And the people that are around you are also, do you realize that his cabinet is made up of people as well who were from TV shows and comedians, and people are looking and saying, why would you do that? The reason why is the same reason that people have been saying things about the former president and the people that surrounded him, Trump, is because you have to have a circle around you that you trust. And the only place that he could go to find people in Ukraine, a place that for 2 presidencies, for a very long time, has been incredibly corrupt, the only way that he could find people that would be in his government that he could trust was his inner circle of friends and people that he knew were not going to be those politicos. He brought them in. That's an important thing to remember, and that's the thing that Putin was mocking when he called him beauty. Remember, it's like those comments.
But that loyalty is so vital. And oddly enough, here's the weirdest thing. This weekend, Louis C.K., the comedian, guy was canceled for a bunch of really dumb and ugly stuff he was doing.
Right.
Louis C.K. is performing in Kiev.
No.
I kid you not. As of this morning, the concert, the performance by Louis C.K. was still on. People had tickets. And, Fox was reporting people were standing in line at the bus stops in Kiev, that some of the internal structure was still there. So to think that there are, on the northern side of the largest city in the country, the capital city, that there are Russian tanks and troops and gunfire, and that the city buses are still running. It is remarkable.
Surreal.
And surreal, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you go about your day today and you want to complain that your caramel macchiato doesn't have enough foam on it, think about the people standing in a block-long line to get money out of the ATM or waiting at a bus stop as gunfire is going on.
Yeah, good call. All right, we are live at Cpac 2022. Scheduled to appear in just about 10 more minutes is Matt Boyle. He's the Washington bureau chief for Breitbart News. There's a lot of Breitbart News, as a matter of fact. Yesterday, we're here. They honored, it was 10 years ago, the passing of
Andrew,
yeah. So.
Yeah, and it was Cpac in D.C., and I had been hanging out with him the day before. And you didn't know this, I wrote for Breitbart for a year.
Well, let's talk about that when Matt gets here, because we'll talk about that and so much more. We are live at Cpac 2022, Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. Don't forget, if you want to watch everything that's happening, go to our channel on Rumble. Just type in Drew Steele. You'll find us. And we look forward to hearing from you as well. 239-479-5592. Maybe you've got some comments, some thoughts. Text us as well. All right, it's Daybreak live from Cpac 2022. Right all along.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
You've worked hard in life and created substantial wealth, but isn't your legacy about more than money? At FindMark, we ask our clients, how will you prepare the next generation? Will they inherit your values along with your wealth? Having a plan is essential. FindMark can help. Visit us at our locations in Fort Myers, Naples, Bonita Springs, and Estero, or online at findmarkbank.com.
Woodward, Piers & Lombardo, the first established law firm on Marco Island, is proudly celebrating 50 years of providing legal services throughout Collier County with offices in Naples and Marco. A lot has changed in 50 years, but what hasn't changed is the common sense approach to the law the attorneys of Woodward, Piers & Lombardo have built their practice upon. Putting you first in their priority, whether they're advising you on business decisions, designing your estate plan, guiding you through divorce and litigation, or representation in zoning, permitting, and land use with counties and cities to overseeing your next real estate transaction. Woodward, Piers & Lombardo, first for 50 years in serving Collier County with quality, effective, and efficient legal representation, working with individuals, businesses, and local governments in an array of legal matters. Woodward, Piers & Lombardo, with locations in Naples and Marco Island. For more information, visit their all-new website at WPL-legal.com. That's WPL-legal.com.
Welcome to FloridaFreedom.net. What is FloridaFreedom.net? With so much under attack these days, especially the state of Florida and its leadership, specifically Governor Ron DeSantis, I thought it was time to create a site for all of us who love Florida to show our support and unite. As Floridians, we believe we have the right to do what's in our best interest. FloridaFreedom.net. Join today.
Are you ready to list your home for sale? What if you could receive a guaranteed offer on your home with no showings, no open houses, and no stress? Contact the Darda Group at dardagroup.com to learn about their guaranteed offer. The Darda Group has 30 years of experience and consistently ranks in the top 3% of real estate agents in Lee County. Find out if your home qualifies for a guaranteed offer and how you may receive an offer in as little as 24 hours and close escrow in as little as 21 days. No home prep, no showings, no open houses. You control when your home is sold and when you move. Learn more about this elite real estate team and the guaranteed offer at dardagroup.com. Don't wait. Schedule an appointment at dardagroup.com. That's dardagroup.com. A Compass Realty broker.
Keeping it right here. We're 92.5 Fox News. And we've been right all along.
Wink News, traffic.
Dealing with a couple of crashes on this Friday morning commute. One in North Naples, right across the road from Gulf Coast High School and Laurel Oak Elementary on Immokalee at Preserve Lane. So watch out for some activity there. Also in Lehigh Acres, dealing with a crash on Connie Avenue North at Elva Place with roadblock, but no injuries. Deputies getting onto that crash scene right now, so may just want to take it extra slow nearby if you're heading along Lee Boulevard, not too far from Lehigh Regional Medical Center. 75 and 41, all clear and nice and quiet as you're getting ready to head out on the Friday morning commute. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After After yet another day of record heat yesterday, we'll be just as warm today as highs climb back into the upper 80s, some of us touching 90 degrees for inland areas. Look for another quiet and dry day of weather, a mix of sun and clouds as winds persist out of the southeast to northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We keep it nice and dry for your Friday evening plans, but very mild. Temperatures in the 70s once the sun sets, only falling to 65 as we wake up on your Saturday morning. Tomorrow, another day of record-breaking heat, 88 for a forecast high. We keep with the heat into the end of the weekend. Sunday featuring a high of 87 degrees. And the dry weather persists through Saturday and Sunday as well. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
If you're going to Orlando for Cpac, be sure to look for 92.5 Fox News. We'll be on the right side of the room, no matter which entrance you use.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. I recently had a very good friend call me scared to death about a mold exposure in her house. She thought she was going to get sick and die and all kinds of crazy stuff. The fact is, folks, that there's mold in every house on the planet. It's a normal thing. It's not normal, however, for that mold to be growing. So, if your air conditioning guy is talking to you about mold and trying to sell you a solution, and they're not a credentialed, certified expert, kick them out of your house. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Call a real expert. Call me at Kobe Cooling. 239-482-1542. With more than 30 credentials, I'm the most credentialed guy in this business. That's why they call me the mold detective. My evaluations are free for second opinions. When you think of air conditioning companies, we help you think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949.
Let's hear from Dr. Johnston at 596 BACK.
People who suffer with back or neck problems, whether that's pain, numbness, or weakness, deal with something that can be frustrating. Pain wears us down. It can affect our relationships with family and friends. It's not fun to be around someone who's always complaining about their backs. Don't resign yourself to having to live with pain. In my office, Johnston Spinal Care, I successfully treat the worst of the worst, those who get injections, nerve-burning procedures, or even surgery. And now they're back, golfing and living life. If there's a treatment that is extremely effective for sciatica, stenosis, scoliosis, or neuropathy, wouldn't you want to see if it can help you? Non-surgical spinal decompression is now in Southwest Florida. Safe and painless, more than just a temporary fix, long-lasting relief that can finally heal the condition, regardless of age. Take the time right now to call my Medicare-friendly office for a no-charge telephone consultation about spinal decompression. Johnston Spinal Care, 596-BACK, 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Many people ask themselves, what can I do to help end abortion? I'm Scott Beyer, CEO of Community Pregnancy Clinics. Since 1974, CPCI has saved over 20,000 lives from abortion. Our medical staff provide thousands of women and families in crisis with care, compassion, and choices they need to choose life for their baby. With 7 clinics throughout Florida, we're here to help women, providing pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, material assistance for 3 years after the birth, and so much more. All completely free of charge, thanks to the generosity of our supporters. That's why I want to invite you to our annual Lifesaver event, March 25th at the Hyatt Regency Coconut Point Resort. We'll welcome former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, a powerful champion of the pro-life movement. Don't miss this chance. Join hundreds of like-minded supporters and Secretary Pompeo at one of the biggest pro-life events in Southwest Florida. Reserve your seats at supportcpci.com or donate a life-saving gift to Community Pregnancy Clinics. Help us help women in need. Supportcpci.com. That's supportcpci.com.
Lusk, Drasites, and Telesano believes winning cases is no accident. Your case is important. Pick a firm with resources to actually prosecute your case. If your case is accepted, you're guaranteed to not pay a single penny in fees or costs unless you get a favorable settlement or verdict. Lusk, Drasites, and Telesano has over 35 years of experience handling personal injury cases in Florida. Visit ldtlaw.com for a free consultation today. Winning is no accident. Lusk, Drasites, and Telesano. ldtlaw.com.
It's February at Unique Services. If you're considering replacing your heating and cooling system, now is the perfect time with Unique Services. For a limited time, Unique is giving away a free air handler and Nest thermostat with the purchase of select high-efficiency air conditioning systems. Let Unique Services help keep your family comfy. Call 941-500-9819 to schedule your appointment. License number CMC 1250555, CFC 1429592, EC 13002942.
Go for wow. Go for corner.
Stay right here, because after Drew, it's Glenn Beck, 9 to noon. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hey, it's great to see you here with us today, live at Cpac 2022. Drew Steele, his name is Michael. Mike Opelka.
I lost my article in one day.
Sorry. Okay,
Jeez.
the Mike Opelka.
Thank you.
We have to be clear about that.
It's confusing.
All right. We are so happy to have Matt Boyle with us right now. He's the Washington bureau chief for Breitbart News. Just currently found out as we speak a Florida connection, which is awesome. Flagler College, St. Augustine.
I live in Florida full time now, so I've totally cut ties from Washington, D.C. I'm a resident of the free state of Florida.
How about that?
Governor DeSantis is doing a fantastic job down here, and I said enough of it.
How crazy is, I brought this up earlier, and I want to see if you heard the same thing, Matt, because so I was listening to some people yesterday talking after Ron DeSantis' speech here, packed house, right? Yep. And there were people that, and I couldn't believe it, and even some hosts and some politicians, and they said, "Oh wow, he's pretty good. He's really good," as if to say, "This guy just came on the scene." It's like, where have you been? Did you hear that as well?
I've known. Well, first off, I caught a little bit of the speech, and it was incredible. But as always with Governor DeSantis, but look, I've known Governor DeSantis since he was a backbench congressman, and nobody knew who he was, right? Yeah. Like, and it's not surprising to me to see one of the founding members of the House Freedom Caucus out there now implementing said policies as governor and how popular they are. I mean, we've seen these battles. That's what people want. They want fighters. Yep. We're seeing that on Capitol Hill. And look, there's a reason why he's up 20-something points in the polls. There's a new poll. It's a university poll. It's not some right-wing push poll that came out yesterday that shows him up 21 points against one of the Democrats and 23 points against the other one. Yeah. Why is that? It's because Governor DeSantis is actually doing what he said he was going to do.
Well, let's be fair.
Yeah.
Democrats really don't have a strong bench right now.
No.
I mean, he's playing. We are. I'm going to use the chess
the old
checkers.
Charlie Crist again.
Yeah.
Well, not even in the. I was going to say not even in the state when you have Nikki Fried. Everybody could call as Floridians. Everybody could call Nikki Fried a mile away what she was doing the minute she stole that election. Oh, did I say it? I'm sorry. Forgive me. The minute that election was hers, the one elected position, you knew, and then you saw her picture on gas pumps around the state. It's like, whoa, slow down here. Hold on a second. Don't tell us you're not going to be running for something. And so, there's Charlie Crist and Nikki Fried and Annette Taddeo and all the biggest hard-hitting popular names that the Democrats could bring, and then you're surprised and wondering.
Yeah, you're playing Major League Baseball against high school players.
Yeah. Right, and by the way, those popular policies have attracted a whole ton of people either back to or to Florida.
Right, well, yourself included.
Myself included, and what's happened is that, when I came back, I registered again to vote. I'm a registered Republican voter. So many other people that are doing the same thing, and now I believe the Republicans outnumber the Democrats for the first time, I think, ever.
It's still close. It's still close, and guys like Scott Pressler have been traveling the country doing that, and he did a lot of work in this state. But just the numbers of registrations can't guarantee a win, as we all know.
Can't guarantee you a win, but it's definitely look, the Democrats always outnumbered by like tens or hundreds of thousands of the Republicans in Florida.
Even if they're dead.
Yeah. But the Republicans outnumber it now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For the first time. State. Yeah, it is. And Matt, the other thing, too, is let's not forget that we are a red state, but boy, we have to continue to strengthen that even more. Like red states need to be more red than ever before. The purple states need to push red. Those that are kind of or in the middle or like weak red have to be strengthened as well. Just because we're really strong as a red state and the Republican Party doing well doesn't mean that you just kind of sit back and say, all right, well, the numbers are looking good, so we can move to national election. We can move to something else. We can look at someplace else. We can't.
This is not a time to like chill out and take it easy. No, this is the time to hit the gas pedal, and that's kind of the point here is that, look, we finally have a Republican Party, I think, that by and large, with a handful of exceptions out there, look around at Cpac, look around at the leaders of the Republican Party now. Generally speaking, and again, there are a handful of exceptions out
Would
there.
you like to name some of those handful of exceptions?
I mean, one exception I would say is the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
Right.
There's the point. The Liz Cheney's and the Adam Kinzinger.
Right.
But Liz Cheney's dead woman walking. Adam Kinzinger's not coming back no
Right.
matter what next year. He's not even running for re-election. So there's those voices. But what we're seeing is, by and large, the party is leaning into and embracing these culture war issues. They're fighting on things like the mass migration that we're seeing at the border, the millions of people that are pouring across the border. They're fighting on things like the transgendered insanity. I mean, look, Rick Scott, the senator here from Florida, he's also the chairman of the NRSC, released this big plan. It's a 60-page plan in the lead up to Cpac earlier this week, and it's called the Plan to Rescue America. It felt like a sea change shift in the Republican Party when you read this plan. First off, there's nothing in it I can disagree with, and secondly, there's a lot of things in there that I'm shocked to see Republicans actually going in and fighting on. I haven't seen or heard the Republicans fighting on the transgender issue. Now they are.
Right.
I haven't seen or heard the Republicans fighting on the basic core culture war issues. Now they are. And so they seem to understand now that these are winning things. I mean, look, the plan literally calls for decoupling the United States from China. I mean, finally, right? Like, where has this been for a while?
Yeah.
So as long as the Republicans go in and they do what they said they were going to do, and they fight on this stuff. And so, look, I think there's a lot of promising stuff coming from Kevin McCarthy in the House. I think there's a lot of promising stuff coming from the Freedom Caucus guys in the House. I think there's a lot of promising stuff, and many of them you're hearing from here. A lot of these, new and up-and-coming senators and these new candidates that are running in all of these races around the country. I think the party is moving in the right direction, and we got to hit the gas pedal. We got to really accelerate here. We got one more shot to save this. It's amazing that after everything that happened in 2020, we are where we are now, a year or so later.
Yeah.
Where we're going to have another chance here to save America in 2022 and 2024. And, I mean, look, we've been through a lot of bad things as a country. We're going to make it through the Joe Biden disaster. But now is not the time for weakness. And when the Republicans get back there, and they will, and I think in this midterm election, at least in the House, probably in the Senate, they have to do it. Like, they have to do the work. They can't. They get one chance at this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're in deep trouble. And I was talking to a bunch of Republicans about this last night. I was telling them, I'm like, guys, you get the majority back and you blow it. That's it. This is your last shot.
Right.
But I do think the American public's going to give them one more chance here. So.
I am agreeing with you totally. And I picked up Scott's plan. They were handing it out in the marketplace here yesterday, and I thought I had it in my bag. That's why I was digging around there. The answer to this issue, though, relies on all these guys knowing how, not what, but how. And when you talk about fighting the culture wars and you talk about fighting the transgender madness, we have to teach these guys how to fight it. We didn't seem to have that approach. I think we learned from the parents in Virginia and Bucks County, Pennsylvania, near where I make my home in Delaware. And if we can transfer that knowledge to these elected officials and show them this is how you fight it. Matt Walsh is one of the guys who leads with how to fight the cultural madness. Then I think we win. And then I think we carry that
By
through.
the way, you know who taught us how to fight?
Oh.
Andrew Breitbart.
Thank you.
Can I say something, Matt? Can I say something, Matt? I was going to say, as you said that, I seem to remember someone speaking about culture and downstream in politics, and I wonder who that would be. Isn't that interesting?
By the
now
way,
all of a sudden,
I said this in our panel yesterday that we did here at Cpac. We're with Larry O'Connor and James O'Keefe and Charlie Kirk and me. We're all up there and we're talking about Andrew, and I said everybody should go back and watch some of his old speeches, right? And so if you pull up his Cpac speech here from 2012, this was the last major speech he gave before he died. It was weirdly prophetic. What were some of the things he was talking about? He was talking about the left being disrespectful to police officers. He was talking about exposing critical race theory.
Man.
Right, which is what he was working on.
10 years
ago.
Wow. Yeah.
And this is when the Republicans would never even go near that issue.
Yeah.
Right, they totally
it was the third
stayed
rail.
away from it. It was totally the third rail.
I get emotional because I was there and I had just graduated from Cpac, from writing for Breitbart for a year to writing for The Blaze for 6 years. So I followed Andrew.
Yes.
And then the loss that came days later. Because we were, Occupy Wall Street was in full swing, and they were protesting out in front of the hotel. I don't know if you remember. They were yelling, and Andrew came out.
I remember.
And I have photos
Stop
of him.
raping the people, right?
Yeah. Andrew was standing. I have photos of him wagging a finger at them. And it was such an important thing. And he was the guy who, he wasn't a fancy boy. You know, he's a little rough around the edges. New Orleans influences there. And he stood up to the people and said to the conservative people, you got to fight.
Yeah.
And I don't think we had heard that before. And a decade later, those seeds have finally sprouted.
Yeah, and I think that, again, weirdly prophetic. Every one of his speeches, and by the way, also hilarious. Andrew was a hilarious person. That sense of humor really came through, shone through. And it was infectious, right? Like even the lefties liked him, right? Like even we heard these various stories yesterday. One of them we were talking about was this, and he talks about this in that 2012 Cpac speech. So at the time, I worked at Daily Caller, so I was working with Tucker. Tucker Carlson had bought this auction of a dinner that Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dohrn, these were the weather on the ground terrorists that launched Barack Obama's political career, right? So they auctioned off dinner with themselves for some charity, and Tucker bought the dinner at my urging, by the way. So I was like, Tucker, buy the dinner and take some conservatives. So he takes Andrew, and Andrew's talking about this dinner. And he's like, Bill Ayers was charming person, and by the way, one of the best cooks I've ever had, right? Like the ribs, they were amazing. The squash was so succulent. He's like, him and his wife Bernadine, very charming people. But he's like, but so is Ted Bundy. So also very charming. And so you had these moments with Andrew. There's another time that Larry O'Connor was talking about that, like apparently he went to this big MSNBC White House Correspondents' Dinner party or something, and he crashed the party, and then all of a sudden he's at the bar with Rachel Maddow toasting. They're having a drink, toasting each other, and you couldn't hate the guy. They couldn't hate.
He was gregarious. He had an attractiveness to him, and he could party. Yeah. And the night before he left Cpac, I was toasting with him. Yeah. At a party that he threw for young journalists. So it's missed, and yet the seeds of Andrew are here
everywhere,
and that's great.
Everywhere, all across the media. Yourself, me. There's so many. There's hundreds and hundreds of people.
We should have an alum gathering.
I really think we should. Yeah, no, it's actually a good idea. So.
I'll show up.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing is that there's so many people, and there's people that knew him and people that didn't, but there's all sorts of people that have worked here, that work at other places now, that work, all throughout different other industries, that work in Senate offices, that worked in the White House.
Yeah.
The impact and the legacy of Andrew is just, it's everywhere. And then finally, I think we're at a point now where the Republicans understand it. And so hopefully, if and when they get there, they're going to actually do it this time. We'll see.
Well, not to bring up just a kind of an odd question, Drew's going to look at me. I'm getting side-eye from him in a minute.
Well, we get side-eye from this whole row.
Breitbart was an outlier 10 years ago. Breitbart was a disruptor 10 years ago. And there were many in the establishment of the GOP and conservative establishment who kind of squinted when they looked at you going, do we want to embrace him? Has the mainstream party fully embraced Breitbart? Because you guys put out news every day, and it's not a far right.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that they don't.
It's hard news. Have they embraced you fully?
I think it is the party of Breitbart in many respects at this stage.
I
think Andrew Breitbart is winning the war 10 years later. Just look at the policies of the Trump administration. Frankly, the Trump campaign was the core issues that we were writing about. I mean, immigration, trade. I mean, we were writing about that stuff for years leading up to Trump's campaign and what he focused on. And what you ended up with, by the way, at the end of the Republican primary in 2016 was a Trump versus Cruz battle, which was the two grassroots candidates.
Yeah.
Right? The establishment was cut out of that whole discussion. I mean, so...
But have they come to you now, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because you won that war.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're at a point where, I mean, look, I would point you to that Rick Scott plan. I think that's a good example of it. There's a big interview I did with Kevin McCarthy that came out in early January, the would-be speaker, assuming the Republicans take the House back.
It's on Breitbart.com, people. You should go there.
Yeah. And that interview, he lays out a lot of the same stuff, and among other things, pledges that he'll never consider amnesty if he's the Speaker of the House. So I do think the party has shifted in a significant way in the right direction. And so my hope is that, again, now they're in the minority right now, so they will politicians have a tendency to do this. So they say and promise all sorts of big things. It is up to us as conservative journalists, as people that want to see them actually deliver, to then hold them to that and hold them accountable when the day comes. So the day, I think, is coming in November that the Republicans are going to get the majority back. Are we going to press them when they get there to do it? And yes, the answer is yes.
And I think, to sum it up, I think in a lot of ways, number one, Andrew taught us politically how to fight, period.
Yes.
And if you're somebody who's listening right now and you're not familiar with Andrew Breitbart, do your homework, and once you see and hear his
and read Righteous Indignation.
Yeah.
It's his book.
Awesome, right. Yeah. And you'll see how he taught us, gave us the blueprint that people ultimately followed, number one. And number two, the most important thing that you brought up, I think, at the end is the takeaway for me, and especially locally, because local. Listen, we can't stop focusing on local politics. There's a lot of things that happen nationally, but man, if we don't do what we have to do at home, we're in trouble. The fact of the matter is that we do need people in the party that are not looking and they sense the winds and say, I'm going to start talking about things legislatively or put things out and hand you a pamphlet because I know that this is what I'm feeling politically, but they have to have it in their gut and in their soul and be someone who is going to really move it, even when they're getting the kind of pushback that they're going to get, because we've already seen it. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, look, I think that everybody needs to use the tools that you have. I mean, look, your cell phone, you're probably your best friend in terms of vetting people, right? Like, so you can look up all sorts of information. I mean, we live in the internet age. So, and that was one of the things Andrew understood more than anybody. I remember all those rallies where he would get up and he'd hold up his phone and say, I'm a journalist now, and everybody here is, right? Everybody out there can use the tools that we've got in the amazing technology. And this is why you see the big tech companies are trying to screw everybody. They're trying to shut it down because they understand the power of this. They understand that when the actual American public has access to all the information and it gets to them in enough time for these elections, that the establishment and the globalists, they stand zero chance. Right. So the only thing, an informed electorate is bad news for the Democrats and it's bad news for the Republican establishment. And so all we have to do is work as hard as we can every single day, make that extra phone call, make that extra effort to reach out to somebody. You do a little bit more, and I think that the more informed the electorate is, the more likely it is we're going to win the war here.
All right, Matt Boyle, we appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much.
Yep,
Washington
thanks,
Bureau Chief for Breitbart News, and you can follow him if you would like. You should.
He follows me on Twitter. I just found that out. I didn't know.
I haven't tweeted in so
I know you're not very active on Twitter, but
the way I see it,
but
is
you
I don't
follow
need it,
me.
so.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, my friend. Good to see you. Thanks so much.
Guys.
All right, Cpac 2022. It's Daybreak 92.5. Fox News right all along.
Need some inspiration? Don't look left. Look right. Here. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
This Fox Business Report is presented by the Darda Real Estate Group at dardagroup.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report. Americans are paying more at the pump as the war in Ukraine pushes up oil and gas prices. AAA says the national average rose to $3.54 a gallon, and Gas Buddy is warning drivers could see $5 a gallon or higher in the coming months. A stunning reversal of fortunes on Wall Street yesterday. After first diving deeply over the war in Ukraine, stocks closed higher. The Dow gained 92 points. The Nasdaq jumped 436 points, or more than 3%. And a Burger King franchise operator fights inflation by reducing the number of chicken nuggets in a meal from 10 to 8. Carol's Restaurant Group operates more than 1,000 locations in 23 states. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report, invested in you.
Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to Biden's out-of-control spending, and every second you are losing more of your hard-earned savings. But you can fight back. With a gold IRA from Birch Gold, you can protect your retirement from this outright theft. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I'm one of the Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold IRA, text the word SHELTER to 989898. Do it now, today. Text SHELTER to 9898.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list. And in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection. License number CCC 1326213.
Encore Luxury Cabinets and Design staff have been designing award-winning kitchens and baths for nearly 50 years. Now Encore is proud to offer Foster Appliances, a sophisticated line of chef-grade handmade Italian products just perfect for the home chef and all of us. Encore Luxury Cabinets and Design is proud to be a select area dealer for these hand-built appliances that are in many ways superior to other brand-name high-end cooking appliances. Since 1975, Foster has created top-of-the-line cooktops, ovens, ranges, hoods, sinks, and faucets for residential and commercial use. Their attention to detail and unique accessories enhance the cooking experience, making them a preferred supplier to luxury resorts such as the Ritz-Carlton. Call Encore at 239-331-5287 to schedule a demonstration of their expanded Naples showroom, or visit EncoreCabinetDesign.com for inspirational cabinet designs and appliances for your new home or remodeling project.
Hi, I'm Keith from Storm Shield. Our mission at Storm Shield is to provide the very best storm protection available and to make the process as easy as possible. Don't take it from me, though. Listen to what our customers say.
Hi, my name is Carl Boscarino. My wife and I moved to Southwest Florida over 21 years ago. We talked about hurricane-proofing our home, but didn't know where to start until we talked to Storm Shield. They asked if we wanted to start with just one side of the house. Who knew you could do that? We started by replacing the windows exposed to the sun, and we were very surprised at how much cooler the rooms became. We also noticed the outside noise had dropped to barely anything. We noticed our electric bill was less every month. The more windows and doors we did, the more money we saved. When the city inspector came to check the work, he asked what company we used. I told him Storm Shield. He said I didn't need to worry, that Storm Shield installers know how to do it right. Again, I was impressed with Storm Shield.
Visit us on the web at stormshieldSWFL.com. That's stormshieldSWFL.com. License number CGC A60475.
The Peter Max experience comes to Naples. Immerse yourself in the world of iconic pop artist Peter Max. The art, the music, the culture, the experience of the 60s and 70s. Roadshow Company presents the Peter Max Experience. Iconic pop artist Peter Max's paintings on exhibition and available for acquisition at Mercado Naples. Preview begins February 25th. Receptions are on March 5th and 6th. More details at roadshowcompany.com. Complimentary and open to the public.
When there's nothing left that makes any sense. 92.5 WFSX Estero. Fox News. Right all along.
This Fox News update is presented by Freedom Dental of Fort Myers. Online at freedomdentalftmyers.com.
Wink News, traffic.
Your morning commute getting busy out across Southwest Florida, and we are dealing with some patchy areas of dense fog along Alligator Alley and inland Lee County toward LaBelle as well in Hendry County. Looking good on most of 75 though across Naples and through Lee and Charlotte counties right now. The only crash we're watching in Collier County right across from Laurel Oak Elementary and Gulf Coast High School. That's at Immokalee Road and Preserve Lane. No roadblock, no injuries there. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After yet another day of record heat yesterday, will be just as warm today as highs climb back into the upper 80s, some of us touching 90 degrees for inland areas. Look for another quiet and dry day of weather, a mix of sun and clouds as winds persist out of the southeast to northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We keep it nice and dry for your Friday evening plans, but very mild. Temperatures in the 70s once the sun sets, only falling to 65 as we wake up on your Saturday morning. Tomorrow, another day of record-breaking heat, 88 for a forecast high. We keep with the heat into the end of the weekend. Sunday featuring a high of 87 degrees. And the dry weather persists through Saturday and Sunday as well. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
This year in Orlando, Cpac is back, and we're there live on 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
You'd think an Army veteran with a military career, including multiple combat deployments throughout the Middle East, would be a great American. And you'd be right. But Joe Vanderbosch also happens to be a great dentist. An Army veteran of 8 years, Dr. Joe now makes his home in Southwest Florida, where his wife Sarah grew up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch, Freedom Dental on Metro Parkway in Fort Myers. In the Army, I received extra training in order to provide dental care in virtually any condition. That's why I can manage many dental treatments without the need to refer to a specialist. I served my country proudly for 8 years. Now I want to serve you in your dental needs. Special discounts for former and active military without dental insurance.
Dr. Vanderbosch provides emergency care and is now accepting new patients for cleaning, extractions, crowns, implants, and more. Find them online at freedomdentalfortmyers.com. That's freedomdentalfortmyers.com. Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch. Go to freedomdentalfortmyers.com.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Retire with Grace with Bob Grace, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon to get the answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retire with Grace, a Tri-Found company, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Manufactured in the USA, Plantation Shutters for You is your best choice for plantation shutters. Custom measured and installed just for you. Built to last forever. Call today for a free consultation. Discounts for all military and first responders. Also, if you support Biden, don't blink and call us. PlantationShuttersForYou.com.
When it comes to cybersecurity, the biggest threats don't always strike the biggest targets. Almost half of all cyber attacks target small businesses. So help protect yours with Comcast Business Security Edge. It's advanced security that continuously scans for threats and helps protect every connected device. On the largest, fastest, reliable network with speeds up to 10 gigs to the most small businesses. So switch today and get cutting-edge speed with advanced security and be ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security. Together for just $60 a month for 24 months. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Call or go online today to find out more. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Prepaid card offer ends 3/21/22.
Being involved in a legal dispute can leave you feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Understanding the law and the rules of evidence can mean the difference between winning or losing your case. If you are involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples.
With low-cost Medicare prescription copays at Walgreens, you won't have a Medicare in the world. As a preferred network pharmacy among so many different plans across the country, Walgreens is here to help make Medicare easier. Start filling Medicare prescriptions with your local Walgreens and see how much you could save today. Find lower copays with Walgreens as a preferred network pharmacy of AARP Medicare RX by United Healthcare, WellCare, and Florida Blue Medicare.
Walgreens participates with other plans. See walgreens.com/Medicare for details.
Hello, folks. This is Representative Bob Rommel with this week's Florida update. As it stands right now, we are just weeks away from finishing Florida's legislative session. We approved bills that cut taxes, protect life, strengthen parental rights, expand school choice, and balance our budget. That's a direct result of conservative leadership. And it's a great example of what could happen if we defeat Nancy Pelosi this November and take Congress back. As we watch the invasion of Ukraine and what may unfold in Taiwan, we remember the importance of strong leadership. Joe Biden is a weak commander-in-chief. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are bankrupting our country. We need to make America Florida. No income tax, personal freedom, and strong leadership. Let's keep it that way. Let's always keep our troops and military families in our prayers. This message was paid by me, Bob Rommel, Republican for State Representative.
Chevy sales, Marty speaking.
Who's got monumental savings on every Chevy in stock?
Let me guess.
You got it, buddy. Victory Lane Chevrolet.
So, I've got savings too.
Okay, but yours aren't monumental. You just mark up the original price.
You spying on me?
Don't have to. I read your reviews.
Who cares?
Well, apparently you don't. So car buyers head to Victory Lane for no payments until June on all new Chevys and a hassle-free experience. Plus, Victory Lane pardons bad credit with their goal, 100% credit approval. I just wish they could pardon your reviews.
I got a review for you. 0 stars.
Oh, so he does read his reviews. Get monumental savings at Victory Lane Chevrolet. Make no payments for up to 120 days. Shop new Chevy Silverados, leased from just $399 a month. Victory Lane Chevrolet, on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Find new roads. Online, victorylanechevrolet.com. 36-month lease must have current lease and household. $2,000 down plus tax and fees with proof credit. All offers on in-stock vehicles. Offers cannot combine. Ends 2/28/22.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. So glad you're joining us today as we are live at Cpac 2022. And
how long have we been doing this? Not just the days, but years. We've been doing
Cpac?
this for a while. Yeah,
37 years. How about that? Is it? And you still look as bright and fresh as the day that's not. It's not the truth.
It's the Red Bull.
I can't even lie.
It's the Red Bull.
All right, enough of that. We have an individual in front of us right now,
a bigger name,
who is a media star in his own right. Doug Collins, may I say that, former congressman from Georgia, host of the Doug Collins podcast. Hello. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm great. I think, like, how'd you get in? You know, they didn't let 10-years in at that time. I mean, come on. Drew and I are old. Come on.
Too kind. You are a politician. It never leaves you, does it?
It's like a disease. It just comes out. No.
Is it odd for you to you're on this side of the mic now? You get to talk about the politics. You get to communicate, have people on. What's that like?
I've enjoyed it because one of the things getting out and being at the tip of the spear for really the last 4 years, from Republican Congress chair to judiciary ranking member, having to fight Nadler all the time and the impeachment crap. Well, like I said, now some of you can see it. He always come up to right here on me. I had it up to here with Nadler. So as we go, but I said, well, what am I going to do? I wanted to stay involved, and I'm not ruled out a political, run later. But I just needed a break. Right. It was tired after the Senate run. But what I found is I'm able to sort of shape the message a little bit and ask the questions and encourage from, not only from behind the mic, but ask those questions. Because I believe that conservatives, we've got the right message. I've always thought that. We've just got terrible messengers at times. Yeah. And we get so focused on the bumper sticker, simple answers, and people are longing for more. So I've enjoyed it. It's been fun. It's also been good to say I get to control the questions, and I didn't like that answer. Thanks for playing.
Nice.
Yeah, you came out of a state that to say it was in the crosshairs the last couple of years is to understate everything. How is Georgia politics today?
It's difficult, and I'll use it this way. I live on a lake up in North Georgia. It's Lake Lanier. It's a beautiful lake, and I've lived on that lake most of my life. And I get up and run in the mornings, especially during the summer. And so I'll get up at about 5:36, and I start my runs. And my cove behind my house is in that time of the morning, typically it's smooth, it's beautiful, it's that idyllic kind of thing. And I can look across the lake because there's a big boat ramp. And on Saturdays, typically they have big bass tournaments. Mm-hmm. I'll start my run, and then they'll hit the ball, and those boats will go out. And my cove for about the next 30 minutes is just wave after wave, tearing everything up. And then it settles back down about an hour later. I use that analogy because I'm trying to paint a picture for people of Georgia. We're in that wave portion right now.
Right.
Everything's up and down. So it's water, it's a cove, but it's not normal. So Georgia right now is tough, and I'm telling the Republicans, if you don't get out and vote, if you don't get out and do this, you can't just assume because you have an endorsement or you have money or whatever. Democrats are coming. Georgia is in play completely.
Yeah, you look, and we talked off the air a little bit about the politics that are there, and even the broader politics of today. You look at 2022, which was different than 2020, which was certainly different than 2012. I mean, you see the change that's happening. You notice this yourself, right? It's just different. Things are different.
Yep. They are different, and it's different in ways that I think we're trying to still understand. And I think from a conservative perspective, look, we've got to get back to the understanding, and I'm going to go back to some of our own, okay? Mm-hmm. In 2010, we talked about this a lot. We came in and made very bold promises, and I'm saying we, I'll just take that in general. I came in 12, but in the 10 group said, we're going to get rid of Obamacare. We're going to get rid of this. And the reality was we had to be honest with people. Obama's still in the White House. Yeah. And then he won re-election. So look, we're going to chip away. We got 9 major, and we crippled Obamacare, but we couldn't do away with it. But people got disappointed. Yeah. We've got to be honest with what we do. And I think and not to say anything else, is saying here's what we're going to do, and also be bolder. That's what conservatives have to do. Yep. But people are looking for just, it's just talk honestly to me. I don't know if you ever remember, if y'all are history buffs on movies, the movie The Candidate. Remember that?
Yeah. Robert Redford. Yeah.
You remember the portion where they're upset. They went to that ag meeting and nobody was there, and they're in there fussing at each other. And the campaign manager tells the guy, he said, "What do you want me to do with the reporters?" And he says, "Put them in a bus and drive them over the cliff." And the guy just stands there and looks at him for a second, and he says, "Just talk to me straight, man." That's where we're at with people right now. Just talk to me straight.
Well, Georgia, I mentioned this yesterday. Georgia has a history of having straight-talking politicians on both sides of the aisle, so it's refreshing to see. I go back to Zell Miller, a Democrat I could agree with.
Yep.
A guy who spoke clearly and plainly, and I think this is the time that's needed. Honesty, even if you tell people, look, we want to eat the elephant, but we can only do it one bite at a time. Yep. And that's what's got to come out right now. I hope you're telling people that.
We are. And the other thing is, I've always said this, and this has come out, Democrats, and I in a longer time I analogize this out, Democrats are willing to give up position and power for policy. Leadership in the Republican Party has got to be willing to say, okay, I may only be speaker for a while, I may be chairman for a while, but if I can get that 2 years and I can get it in the budget, I can get that conservative policy in there, it'll stay. And some people say, well, that just doesn't work. No. Obamacare's still there. Dodd-Frank's still there. Yeah. We still got some of the other issues. And when was that? That was the first speakership of Pelosi.
Who are the members? I don't want you. Maybe I shouldn't do this.
Yes, you should.
Can you call out any members of Congress who are willing to stand up and say, I don't care about getting reelected? One name comes to mind, and maybe it's because I kind of have a little knowledge of him. We go back and forth. It's Thomas Massey. He's a guy who's not afraid to stand up and say, this is my principle, I will die on this hill.
And I agree with you. Thomas is a good friend. Thomas and I came in together. Well, he came in like 2 months ahead because he won that special election.
Yeah. Right.
Here's the difference. I think Thomas is right on a lot. Thomas gives us, I go back to my sort of, shipping analogy here. Thomas and others give us that point, to that beacon to look at.
Right.
And then we have to say, okay, this is the beacon, this is where we are. All right, now what can we get off of that beacon?
Yeah.
And I think that's the part, though, that I want to take the steadfastness of what Thomas and many others in my side, Jim, Meadows, Warren Davidson, there's a lot of guys out there.
Right.
But at the same point, you've got to get stuff done. What people forget about Donald Trump is Donald Trump was very, focused, but he's very pragmatic. I wrote the First Step Act. That was the criminal justice bill.
Really?
That was my bill.
Great job.
And that was what he did wrong criminal justice. We noticed something. We just didn't talk about it. We got it done.
Right.
Did we get everything we wanted? No, but we got something done.
Yeah.
I did music modernization, which revamped how people get music and how songwriters and artists are paid.
Thank you very
100
much.
years old. We did that.
Songwriter.
National songwriter, my favorite.
EMI Music published songwriter.
So now, if you publish music now, because you wasn't getting squat.
No, I can tell you that there were many days when my wife would look at me and she would see my royalty check and she would say, "Hold on a second.
Yep.
There are some things that are playing, and I'm seeing how it's on there on places like YouTube and the like, and where's the money? Like, what does it come out to?" And it was at the time, it was like some ridiculous amount, if you even saw anything at all.
Exactly. You remember the song, and I always use this as an example, All About the Bass, All About That Bass.
Yeah, right.
Millions of she made $8,000.
Yeah.
The songwriter.
You
Millions of views. If this had been Elvis, he'd have been the richest man in the world.
Right.
But we wrote that bill. I say that just to say you can get stuff done. You don't always have to be, you got to have principles, but understand I cannot compromise my core principle and still get stuff done. That's where we can make a difference, and we've seen it.
Yeah, and I think that you, for you personally, probably some of the frustration through what you had to go through in your time there. The dealings with the hoax of Russia collusion, the dealing with Hillary Clinton, the dealing with all the things that we're starting to see more of right now.
Yep.
And how that has to be maddening for you when you see everything that's going on, and you could almost see the trains coming down the track, and here we are in 22, and now not only is the train left the station, it's past the station, it's run us over, it's not picking us up. We've seen it all.
Yeah.
And you had to go through all of that and deal with that. What was that like?
It was tough. I mean, it was like I called it the Alice in Wonderland effect. I mean, what's up is down and down is up.
Yeah.
And you could see, Adam Schiff. You saw Eric Swalwell, who, I mean, again, I'm not even going to go down that road.
I will. They lie.
They're idiots.
Flat out lies.
They're just well, here's my problem. And I want to go back to something. Steve Cohen. Okay, think about this. We're in a real war right now. We're not. The world is in war right now. Russia and Ukraine. When we were in the impeachment, the Democrats, including Steve Cohen, called Vladimir Zelensky a battered wife. Think about this. He compared him to a battered wife.
Yeah.
Eric Swalwell lied about him the whole time. They were tearing down him. What do you think Putin was looking at and said, "Oh, I got him."
Right.
They're tearing him down. Just to get at Trump. So, yes, it was very disturbing. But to show you the state of the Democratic Party and show you how bad it is right now, the New York Democratic Party actually had Hillary Clinton come in and give a keynote address. Okay. Everything old is new again.
Yeah.
And I don't know who she pulled up or threatened with that one.
Right.
But, but she's back. That's how bad they are right now. But if we don't capitalize on it, it's not matter. And we can't do it with platitudes. We can't do it with, I'm a big guy. I love to do slogans. I'm a communicator. But bumper stickers answers are not what we need right now. We got to get in and tell them why we're the best.
Yeah, no doubt.
The greatest thing about Cpac.
Matt Whitaker's right there. I can't move the camera. You're coming in just a bit. Yeah. The man.
They're doing high fives across radio shows.
Half an hour. 15 minutes.
Could we talk about this?
10 minutes? Whenever you want. You just come over.
Don't mind us, Drew.
Yes.
We're live on the radio.
Hi, Drew.
Okay.
So,
wow, Matt, let me just move over for you here, buddy. That's okay. I'm see you, Drew. Bye.
Oh, gosh. Sorry.
It's insane here.
Yeah.
It is.
Thanks for having
Matt
here.
I thought I was making a mistake. That's why I was asking.
But I'll just remind and the national title went to Iowa.
What a great, and let me tell you, listen, there are and I'll say this in the state of Florida, there are a lot of Georgia fans in Florida.
Go Dogs,
listen, I know UF and I know Florida State and everything else, but there's a whole lot of Georgia folks who are super excited this year. There's no doubt.
It's sort of funny, we talked about, age of coming here. I was about 11, I was about 14 years old when Georgia won. 40 years, it was in 80. I used to go to those games. My dad was a Georgia State trooper, and we'd carry the referees to the ball game, so I got to sit on the sidelines.
Oh,
so
wow.
that year, national champion.
Yeah.
And so now I get to see it again. My boys just graduated from UGA, thank God.
Yeah.
And I told Jerry Moorhead, the president, I said, your last check is coming, and it ain't coming too quickly.
Right.
So,
yeah, and then I know we're going into sports now, but when we talking Georgia football, man, Georgia's one of those teams where you look and you say, if we don't draft somebody from this team, I'm looking, as a Giant fan and looking at.
I'm sorry.
As a New York Giants
fan. Do you need a hug?
Yeah, almost all the time, consistently.
Look, the Falcons came to Atlanta in '66, the year I was born. I'm a Falcons fan because
Braves,
I have to be.
And the Braves,
same time. But also, if you ever look at my podcast show and you look on the background, I have a Raiders Raiders. I went. It was so bad back in the 70s. I had to go to Madden and Stabler and the rest of them. So.
Oh boy, that is true. But it's just great teams, and it's so nice. Georgia sports right now is where people want to be. It's like the Braves, and now all of a sudden it's like the Braves. And you look at how well the Falcons up until recently, but certainly how successessful they've been. Georgia, right?
Yeah.
As
Georgia,
far as
yeah.
I mean, it's.
I haven't seen this side of you. I've never seen the sports
well,
side.
It's a jealousy thing. Can I just be honest with you? I'm kind of jealous of Georgia, the state, sports right now in a lot of different ways. And at least they're always competitive. I'm looking at New York
sports. Well, at least
sports.
we're not 28-3 again. So wait. Never mind.
I'm trying to avoid that one for you, sir.
So, looking at sports and looking at the global issue right now with Ukraine and Russia.
Uh-huh.
And I was just telling this to Drew. We haven't brought it up on air. The number one tennis player in the world right now, male tennis player, just as of yesterday, is a guy named Daniil Medvedev. He is a Russian.
Mm-hmm.
And he is on tour right now and being badgered. What do you think about this? And he's being absolutely covered up. And his point was, as tennis players, pro tennis players, we're all supporting peace. We play all over the globe. And he said, what you need to realize is last week in Marseille, France, the doubles champions of that tournament was a Russian and a Ukrainian playing together.
Wow.
It's one of the more remarkable things no one's looking at.
The interesting thing is, and I sort of wrap this up.
Yes, I know you got to go.
Analogy, but I mean, what you don't. People who make real off-the-cuff comments about Ukraine and Russia have got to understand the history of Ukraine and Russia.
Right.
Putin has sort of manipulated that history, but there's a huge history there that's got to come on. We're at a point from a sports analogy now. Unfortunately, in this game is sort of over. Now we've got to recalibrate for the next one and see where we need to go from there.
Doug Collins, you are amazing. You're great. The podcast.
It's on Apple.
It's on Apple Podcast.
Anywhere you find your podcast.
Thank you. I'm sorry we kept you a little longer, but
I
appreciate it.
Appreciate you so much. Doug.
Well, let's do it along. Let's do this some more. Give me a holler.
Please.
I'll be happy to call in a little bit.
All right, all the best. Thanks so much.
Thank you,
Doug
sir.
Collins joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. All right, we got a little bit of time. There's Hans. Can we get Hans von Spakovsky over here? Let me see if I can get Hans's attention from Heritage. Is Hans? Can you come here? Do you have just a little bit of time?
Look at this. This is how this works. This is the greatest thing about Cpac. There are people walking around.
Oh gosh, Hans is going to go underneath.
And
boy.
I got to teach you how to jump the red line.
Hans, sit down. I'm sorry.
Hello, Hans.
Hans, I literally have like 4 minutes. You don't even have to put headphones on. There's nothing to listen to. Just listen to us. First of all, hey, great to see you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Good move. You'd be good in like those Ironman challenges where they got to run through the dart and stuff. He went right under the pole.
Oh gosh.
Well, I was in Colorado yesterday doing a ski trip, and it was only 10 degrees there.
Oh man.
And I came here.
Oh wow.
Good move.
Hans von Spakovsky, of course, with the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org. They are amazing. Had a chance to speak to the president yesterday and all the things that are going on. They're so incredible. And listen, I can't go any further without mentioning that we are always talking about election integrity and how, there are things that people take for granted, that everything is going to be okay this go around. We've got it all fixed. We have states that are fixing all of this. Yeah, well, maybe not so much. Are you still concerned about election integrity coming up in 22? Like, what are your thoughts right now?
Well, it depends on which state you're talking about.
Well, I'll talk about Florida. Florida's, you feeling pretty good, but I'm worried. I guess people are just worried about across the country, even in rolling into 24.
I'll tell you the
a lot of
states
things.
I'm worried about: Arizona, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. And
all the ones that
I'd say those are the ones I'm primarily focused on and worried about stability.
Well, look, what happened last year?
And Nevada.
Right. What happened last year after the end of after the 2020 election was a lot of state legislatures went into session in January, and they passed good election reforms. Florida was one. They passed good election reforms. Georgia did. Texas did. Arizona passed a few. They're working on more. Pennsylvania actually passed a good bill. I know one of the legislators there. He'll push it, and it was vetoed by the Democratic governor, although he admitted later he hadn't even read the bill.
Of course not.
Of course not, right.
Making cabinets.
Right. So, look, it depends on the state. A lot of states have done improvements. Florida is now ranked at the very top of our new election integrity scorecard that we've put together.
Very nice.
And that doesn't mean that they can't have improvements. But a lot of the states have done everything they can to make things better.
Oh, what do we have here? Tell me about that.
I'm looking at the election integrity scorecard here.
Yes, we released
heritage.org.
We released this in December. What we did is we went and analyzed the laws of every single state relative to election integrity. For example, do they have a voter ID law?
Right.
And
that's so
and we
racist.
rated them. We rated them. And so you can go to our website.
Wow.
You can look at every single state, and we list every place they're doing well and every place they're defective.
And how you've done this is brilliant, because it's like the old Homeland Security, the way we used to rank where we are.
Oh, right.
Security. It's red.
Except this
red
is much
to green.
better.
Yeah,
Except this is better.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
And, of course, Texas, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee in green. But
Right.
then you look at California, Nevada, Utah, Oregon, Washington,
New York. Those
New
are the worst
Jersey,
places in the country.
And Massachusetts are all red.
Yes.
Wow.
And we constantly are thinking about this, and the one thing that I love about Heritage, and I love about Hans, and I love that you have the resource to go there to the website, and certainly when we have you on, is that that you are watching out, that you are looking at this, and not only what is happening, but the solutions, like what we're going to do, what we need to do to strengthen the integrity of these elections.
On our elections integrity scorecard, we have model laws. So if you're a state that doesn't have a voter ID law, we've got a model act that a legislator or a citizen can just download and say, hey, we need to pass this.
That's it. That's what we're talking about. All right. I've got to go to break. I hope I didn't take you away from anything.
No, you didn't.
Only a couple of minutes.
I'm glad you guys waved me over.
Yeah, all right, great. Hans von
So does that mean he was in a boring conversation? And we
No, I
saved
got to
him?
go. I'm running long, but I can run long for
Thank
Hans
you for
anytime.
this.
Yeah.
This is gold.
Yeah,
right
it is.
here.
Absolutely. It's great to see you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, it's
Bye-bye.
Daybreak, live from Cpac 2022. 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
Joe Biden's plan for America? Recycled leftovers. Time for some right thinking. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
You know of Food and Thought as your local organic market, but did you know we're so much more? Our organic cafe serves delicious breakfast, lunch, and dinner with live music on the weekends. Get fresh juices, smoothies, and organic coffee at our newly renovated Juice and Coffee Bar. We even have awesome sustainable clothes and accessories at Thoughtful Threads. Why? Because we know it's a lifestyle. Food and Thought, more than a grocery store.
Food and Thought. Hey guys, it's health and fitness expert Robbie Raw. Are you walking around in pain? Remember, it's not just about what shoes you wear, it's what's in them and how your body aligns from your feet on up. Learn more and find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com.
You're on your way to work, and then bam, your whole life changes in that second. Forever. You're injured, and now you have to fight for justice or live your life in pain. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
All-Phase Electric would like to introduce our Generac Generator organization. My name's Dominic, and these are my sons, Anthony and Dion. We're third-generation electrical contractor. From residential to industrial, we're Southwest Florida's largest factory-trained dealer.
As a premier Generac dealer, we deliver the best value on Generac generators.
You're not just paying for a product, you're getting our expertise.
From our family to yours, no compromise in your safety.
Now installing solar and battery backup.
Pandemic, market drops, elections. Don't let the noise and fear distract you. Where do you go for clarity in uncertain times? I'm Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's financial planner. For experience, advice on planning for retirement, visit savingtheinvestor.com.
We could fly to such great heights.
With MSC Cruises, a world of discovery awaits. And now you can set sail with free balcony upgrades to enjoy those ultimate ocean views. Plus, kids sail free, so gather the group. And rest easy with flexible booking changes. Discover the Caribbean and the Bahamas, including Ocean Key, our award-winning private island. Only the sea offers you so much. Only MSC Cruises offers you so much more. To book, call your travel advisor or visit msccruises.com. Restrictions apply.
At home or on your phone. No matter where you roam, you can always get rightallalong.net, the new web home for 92.5 Fox News.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News, traffic.
tracking some southbound backups coming down from Corkscrew Road through Bonita Beach Road. There is a crash off to the side of the road there, mile marker 116, southbound, but it's not blocking any traffic. Injuries reported, so you may notice EMS on scene trying to deal with those injuries and get that cleared up. Also dealing with a crash in North Naples on Immokalee Road. Has been backing up traffic for over an hour now near Preserve Lane, so seeing major delays eastbound between Logan Boulevard and Collier Boulevard, and that crash only adding to the problems out there with the backups. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Teresa O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After yet another day of record heat yesterday, will be just as warm today as highs climb back into the upper 80s, some of us touching 90 degrees for inland areas. Look for another quiet and dry day of weather, a mix of sun and clouds as winds persist out of the southeast and northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We keep it nice and dry for your Friday evening plans, but very mild. Temperatures in the 70s once the sun sets, only falling to 65 as we wake up on your Saturday morning. Tomorrow, another day of record-breaking heat, 88 for a forecast high. We keep with the heat into the end of the weekend. Sunday featuring a high of 87 degrees. And the dry weather persists through Saturday and Sunday as well. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Know why Washington liberals feel at home in Orlando? Because it's full of famous places that make money selling expensive fantasies. Well, not this week. Cpac is back, and we're there live on 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
Go for corners.
That's you, looking at your garage. And I mean, yeah, everything still works, right? Sort of. You know, the door slowing down, squeaks quite a bit, light doesn't work, and that one wheel pops off every now and then. But you know, it works. Except when it doesn't. If you want things to work, they need maintenance. A tune-up every once in a while. Align the tracks, lubricate the motor, the rollers, hinge points. Fix that dented panel from that football you totally should have caught. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Good things need love and care. Sharpen your knives, paint the steps, wash your jockstrap, shine your shoes for crying out loud. Give your garage door system a Mo Better tune-up every couple thousand cycles and it'll give you years of faithful service. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll come over and make it right. Get that sucker working like new. There's an idea.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Let's hear from Dr. Johnston at 596 Back.
Have you ever had pain down your legs or into your hips and thought, why is this happening? There's a large nerve that comes out of your back that runs down into your leg called the sciatic nerve. This nerve can get compressed by a bulging herniated disc, arthritis, stenosis, or scoliosis. This causes sciatica, which eventually can lead to back, leg, or hip pain, weakness, or numbness. Avoid the band-aids like anti-inflammatories, spinal injections, or painful surgery. Sciatica, as well as bulging disc neuropathy and stenosis, can now effectively be treated with non-surgical spinal decompression at Johnston Spinal Care, 596 Back. Spinal decompression decompresses the discs and nerves, allowing them to heal. FDA cleared, safe and comfortable. Make a decision to live life without pain. Call my office, Johnston Spinal Care, for a free telephone consultation. 596 Back. 596 Back. That's 596-2225.
Goodbye, pal. I'll see you later. I call National Exterminator. 446 bucks to get all rodents and bugs. 239-460 bug.
We get them all.
Call the boys, the National Exterminators, at 239-460-BUG. Or visit them online at pestcontrolmadeeasy.com for all your pest control needs. Bugs, termites, rodents, and even attic insulation. Better service, better prices, and no contracts.
Goodbye, pal. I'll see you later. I call National Exterminator. 446 bucks to get all rodents and bugs. 239-460 bug.
We get them all.
Call the boys, the National Exterminators, at 239-460-BUG. Or visit them online at pestcontrolmadeeasy.com for all your pest control needs. Bugs, termites, rodents, and even attic insulation. Better service, better prices, and no contracts.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral have an important message for car buyers. In honor of President's Day, Sutherland Nissan wants you to keep more presidents in your bank account. It's the President's Day sales event at Sutherland. Get an entire month of savings instead of just a day. Shop our huge selection of new Nissans and certified pre-owned Nissans. Bring your trade, no matter what it is, and get $6,000 more for it. Your $4,000 car is now worth $10,000. Your $14,000 car is now worth $20,000. You get the full value and an extra $6,000. All at your #1 certified pre-owned dealer. Hurry in, ladies and gentlemen. These presidential savings won't be in office. We mean dealership for long. Get to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car mega store. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much. See dealer for details.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know and I know that finding a doctor is one of the most important decisions that you can make in your life for you and your family. And you want to find somebody that's going to promote patient interaction and advocacy above all else. That's why I love Dr. Svetlana Kogan. She's my doctor, and I'm just telling you, it's that personal interaction, that one-on-one, the time that she spends, the huge amount of time going into detail. It's like nothing I've ever seen, and it's that connection that means so much to me. She's got a calming demeanor that'll help you if you've got anxiety about maybe issues that are going on in your life, but you need somebody in your life that you can trust, a physician that will listen. And here's the best part. She'll meet with you face to face anytime you need her, no matter where you are. You've got direct contact and complete access to Dr. Kogan. And that's why I love Dr. Svetlana Kogan. Find out more about her practice on 5th Avenue South by going to customlongevity.com. That's customlongevity.com.
Drew's live broadcast from Cpac is made possible in part by Kobe Cooling. Keep Southwest Florida cool the right way. Now back to Orlando and Cpac.
Hey, great to have you back live, Cpac 2022. My name is Drew Steele. His name is the Mike Opelka.
Thank you. Thank you for getting the title correct.
Of course. And in this voice, of course, you recognize.
Good morning.
He is the Matt Whitaker, former acting attorney general.
Look at his cufflinks. They are.
Which ones do I have on? I don't even know.
The cufflinks?
Oh, yeah.
What are they?
So these were a gift from the United States ambassador to the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
She gave them to me when I visited.
Is it in Santo Domingo or Puerto Plata or Sosúa?
Dominican Republic.
I'm a big fan of the Dominican Republic, as you could tell.
Yeah.
I think I have a scuff mark on my shoe from Ted Cruz yesterday. That's what I've got here. That's about the best I can. He's got cufflinks.
Will he sign it?
I have a scuff mark from my shoe. I think he stepped on my foot
Close
accidentally.
your eyes and you'll see what I have. I have nothing. But those are fancy.
Close
those
your are eyes
lovely.
and give me your hand.
Well, I was worried when Mike says close your eyes.
I don't know
where
at all, but I wouldn't trust him. I'm telling you.
Thank you. Okay.
There's something about him.
That's right.
Everything about
this is weird. Hey, why not talk about this right out of the gate, and then we can get into some other things. We have Liberty and Justice with Matt Whitaker. We'll talk about this. You're now on the other side of the mic, and
He's one of us.
Yes, you're one of us now. Congratulations.
Well, yeah, and thank you, Drew. And it's been sort of it's a passion project for me, and I've really enjoyed. I've done it really all myself. My big break was that my friends at Cpac had an opening at 7 p.m. on Fridays, and so Cpac now is their daily programming. They're putting my show up, and then obviously we're available on all the podcast platforms at Whitaker.tv. And it's just been, as we were talking before we came on live, it's just been a really good opportunity for me. I studied broadcasting and film production as an undergrad.
Is that right?
Yeah, I wanted to be a filmmaker.
All right.
But I really enjoyed the radio. But I realized, as you've paid your dues, but I didn't want to spend the country hits in Mason City, Iowa. Nothing wrong with Mason City, Iowa.
Yeah.
I just thought, and plus I was done with my undergrad, so I needed to go I had more scholarship left, so I went and got my MBA and my law degree, and sort of the radio dream sort of died with it, but this has been, 25, 30 years in the making.
If you asked 1,000 guys working in radio, if you had the chance, would you go to grad school and get your law degree, or would you have gone out and worked in radio? 9.999% of them would say, "Oh, the lawyer." Absolutely, because you can always go back and spin records or do that. So
You're right.
Good choice.
Yeah, it's really been an enjoyable process, and I do have a great network that includes both of you, but it includes also generals and and former cabinet secretaries. And so kind of like when I sat in for you, Drew, I can bring those folks on and we can talk about it. So my first episode was with Rick Grinnell, was a fascinating discussion, previewed all of this Ukraine-Russia stuff. I just had on Gordon Chang. We were talking all about China and what they're going to do in anticipation. So, and today I'm going to have Doug Collins, who was just on your show. We're going to do a deep dive on. He and I have such a great rapport, and I enjoy talking to him. And we're going to have some other special guests because I can do it for this. The nice thing about being part of the Cpac family is they let me use their all their equipment stuff, so I don't have to schlep anything. Nice.
Well, you're looking at the world. You see what's going on right now. Your thoughts on everything you're witnessing?
So my biggest thought, Drew, and I'm trying to find a way to, because I'm optimistic, but my biggest fear is what Joe Biden has done in the last 6 months, first with Afghanistan and now with the Russian invasion of Ukraine, is I don't know why any country would trust the United States of America to be their partner. Because we promised Ukraine in '94 that if they gave up their nuclear weapons, that we would help them and defend them. We didn't do that. And our friends in Afghanistan that we fought alongside and made promises to, so many we left and abandoned. And I was just talking to somebody who just as an outside private company, they evacuated 12,000 people from Afghanistan, not the 100 that were stranded. 12,000 people that were our allies and friends. And I don't know, as Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin and all these other despots and authoritarian leaders look at the United States of America, they can easily, as a marketing play, say, the United States isn't going to have your back. And that's a real concern, and that's going to take a lot of time to build back.
Yeah, on top of that, I just talked to James Carafano over there from the Heritage Foundation. He just flew in from Budapest, and he said it's surreal. It's like 1938. It's like surreal looking at everything, the way the people are right now. They don't know what's happening, and the polls are basically saying, we don't think anybody's coming to help us either. That's how bad it is.
If I were in Poland, and I'm not going to bring up, well, he's a not exactly a radio guy, Jack Posobiec, who has a direct link to Poland. I'd like to hear what Jack's thoughts. He's over at Human Events right now.
Well, he's here somewhere.
We'll find him. Okay, the world we know is a mess. Yes. When you're a guy who was inside 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, you look at it today, and what are your thoughts and what can be done?
Yeah. Well, that job requires leadership. It requires an ability to stand up and speak the truth and lead the American people to where they need to go, not necessarily where they want to go. And I don't see Joe Biden delivering that leadership, not even on a national or international stage. Let's look at just one small stagecraft thing. Russia goes into Ukraine. We don't hear from the president for about 18 hours. And when he didn't do it the night of, the next day was scheduled at noon, didn't come out till after 1 o'clock. That's not leadership. That's trying to put with your finger in the wind, trying to figure out what to do. They should have totally anticipated their next move as a country.
How did
and
we
right
not?
Now, well, I don't know. Well,
I saw it coming.
We all did. We all did. You mean if Minnesota had massed 190,000 troops on the border of Iowa, you thought, well, this is a mostly peaceful protest.
This is going to be
exercises.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in Belarus doing military exercises.
They're practicing. They're going to do a play.
They're practicing the invasion of another country. But we can't understand what they're doing. Yeah, it's a little frightening what's happening. But at the same time, back to my point, just requires leadership that we're missing right now.
So we've got 3 years to survive with this void of leadership. And certainly, and even if he is to go away, if he's to retire back to Rehoboth Beach in Delaware, the second choice is no better.
Right, and remember, Kamala was completely undercut by President Biden a day after she was in Berlin. Or Munich at the security conference. Where she said that the sanctions were to prevent this from happening. And Biden then said, well, no, they're not. Well, I mean, they are or they're not. Right now, Germany is more powerful than Joe Biden and the United States of America. Germany is deciding all of what's happening here. I would not be surprised after this all blows over that Germany demands Nord Stream 2 be open so they can get their Russian gas, because the German people, it's Germany first in Germany. They're looking out for their own interests. There's no chance that Russia invades Germany. I don't imagine. It's not part of Putin's plan.
Funny you say that, because I was just going to say and ask you that as well. it seems to me like just the way the world is, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but it feels like all of this is going to happen. We're going to see and know exactly what the world is going to be and what the geography is going to look like in not too short an order. And ultimately, you're going to have countries like Germany that are going to say, like, hey, can we just forget everything? Hey, how about that natural gas? Can we get back online and have all? Like, that's what I see. I see. Not to let bygones be. Well, let's bygones be bygones. Let's kind of forget everything and let's get back to where we were before. Can we do that? All right, you've got what you've got. How about it, everybody? Am I wrong about that? Because ultimately,
yeah. Ultimately, we've seen this happen before, where the media moves on. Yep. The interests of kind of the American people and the European people sort of moves on. I feel really badly for the Ukrainian people.
Yeah. Well, when you see the video, right, and all of it.
Exactly, and we don't even see half. Right now we're just seeing smoke rising and flashes. We're not actually seeing the street-to-street combat that's going to happen, and it's going to continue. I mean, the Ukrainian people are not going to give up their country, and so there's going to be a lot of unnecessary loss of life. And I still think we got to get back to what's his next move. I mean, if we didn't believe Putin was going to invade Ukraine and he was just going to take these two separatist regions and make them Russian, but he invaded instead, what do we think he's not going to do next? Because he's 73 years old. He wants a greater Russia, and it seems to me that his time is now to go on the march. And again, I didn't think we'd see this in our lifetime, but sort of. So
if the Russian economy collapses, yesterday's drop in the Russian markets and the value of the ruble were bigger than the collapse of the American stock market as 1929, bigger on every level. If that market collapses, do the people rise up and tell him cut it out? I don't think he's going to listen to the people.
Yeah, he's not connected with the people. He has, essentially declared himself dictator for life. And, the only way that this happens is, you just have to, again, I believe in history. I believe in learning from history. I think you have to see what happened to people in similar situations. Hitler's a prime example.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he became deranged and isolated and was, lost. And I just don't, the challenge here is I don't see the Western world uniting against Russia. I think they sort of try to contain them. This is very much in a European appeasement. I feel like we're in the 30s all over again.
That's what I'm saying.
We would have had that unity at this point had we a real leader, which goes back to your initial point. The crisis demands a leader, and there is no leader. The void has created the mess.
Right, and we have to say, if Donald Trump was president right now, this would have never happened. It just would not have happened.
Because there are people that will argue and they'll say, you don't know, you can't be sure. These are the same people that are trying to convince everybody that the reason why Putin's doing this is it's long COVID. That's the reason why. He's actually sick. There's something, the long COVID thing is out. You realize that? They're tweeting things out there and saying, look, he's not right. Something's wrong with this guy.
That's as correct as the CBS News analysis yesterday that said inflation is caused by the Ukraine situation.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that was extraordinary. I saw the CBS report that said essentially all of the ills since Biden took over and the failed policies that have hurt the American people are blamed on Ukraine. It's like literally it is the Christ of the left. It's to blame everything and put all the sins of the Biden administration on the Ukraine situation.
Yeah. Matt Whitaker is joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. We are here at Cpac 2022 live as it is. It's again. There's always a feeling here at Cpac. Like it's always electric. It's always great to be with your tribe, with your folks. To be able to talk and debate the things that are going on in the world and everything. But there certainly is something to be said about the energy this year that is. We're ready to fight. Politically, we're ready to do battle. It's a different landscape. It feels different in that respect, does it not?
It does. I love Cpac. I've been coming to it for years.
Yep.
I've been doing your show on Radio Row for years, and I've always enjoyed this, and we've developed almost a friendship. I don't know. I call it a friendship. I don't know what you call it.
I'd say so.
But it is everyone that I'm running into has an enthusiasm. I think first of all, it's good to get out of the house. It's good to travel to Florida. It's good to see. We have some good leaders out there, some good elected officials, especially in places like Texas and Florida, my home state of Iowa. And those, that is the solution for our country. Half of Americans think we're in a recession right now. 2/3 think we're on the wrong track. And 50% of Democrats think that Joe Biden should submit to a cognitive test and publish the results publicly.
Wow.
And so, we are in a place now, we were mentioning this earlier during the break, is if and when conservatives, if and when Republicans take power, if we don't implement the policies that we run on and stand for, and instead complain about tweets and point the finger at each other and do the classic circular firing squad like we often do, then shame on us. The American people want change. They want leadership, and if we don't deliver that, then pox on our house as well. Because I really, I look at what's happening in my home state of Iowa. They've cut taxes by 50%. They're trying to, they went from 8% top line to 3.9% on their way to zero. And that's a Republican state controlled by Republicans, and they're implementing the policies that work and that we stand for. They're against vaccine mandates. They're against mask mandates. All the kind of things that we stand for.
Well, your governor, speaking of your state of Iowa, your governor's going to deliver the response to the State of the Union. And I know she appears on my friend Simon Conway's show all the time. And Kim Reynolds?
Yeah, Kim Reynolds. Kim Reynolds, good friend of mine, yeah.
I initially thought that maybe it was going to be the South Dakota governor. And now Kristi Noem, who is here.
Yep.
And I have not heard her speak, and I'm really looking forward to it. Is she the reason for the resurgence and the solid foundation in Iowa?
I think she's one of the reasons, certainly, and has led on many of these issues, including the masking the kids in school and making sure that doesn't happen, and all the kind of things that the American people know are common sense solutions.
Mm-hmm.
But Kim Reynolds, this will be one of her first times on the national stage. I think you're going to like her. I think the American people are going to say she's like me. She's a mom. She's a grandma. She just has. Her life has not been perfect, but she is doing extraordinary things in her leadership. But again, we have to implement our policies that we stand for and we run on. That's what I hear as I get around the country.
She's done that. You guys have done that in Iowa.
And the people are prospering. In fact, there's right now tens of thousands of open jobs in the state of Iowa that cannot be filled because of the success
smart people
of the economy.
I don't know if you know that. Iowa doesn't get enough credit. People go, it's farmland, all that. No, it's a state of minds. I will tell you that. Smart people everywhere.
Hardworking, too.
And I'll make this case before we go to break, and it's this. I wonder if this might be the year that we have candidates that will win, not only in primaries, but could win generals, that are of the people, are people in the community. You know how oftentimes you'll have somebody who says, I'm gonna get off the sideline and get in the game. I have no experience in politics, but here's my experience in life. And oftentimes those people have a hard road and they don't necessarily get elected. I wonder if this is the year, because so many things are tangible now, whether it's moms who are looking at the education of their kids and seeing what's happening and the concerns there, and other things as well, where they're like, you know what, that person's a fighter. I can vote for that person, and they'll get on board with that. I think that might be the case.
That's a great point. I mean, you had the truck driver up in New Jersey that didn't want to get, had never been involved. And you're right. I was down at with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago a couple days ago. We had a candidate for him. I'm on the board of the Super PAC for President Trump, and we had a candidate for him. And so I heard from a lot of these people that Trump has endorsed, but I had never met and had never heard speak. And it's exactly to your point. A lot of them are just sort of ordinary Americans that want to do something extraordinary because they see the direction of their country.
All right, we got to go. Matt Whitaker, great to see you, my friend.
Finest podcast.
Yes,
Whitaker.tv.
Yeah.
All right.
It's on Apple, too, Mr.
It is.
It's all over the place. It's global. All right, Matt. Great to see you, my friend.
All right. Good to see you, Drew.
Live from Cpac 2022. It's Daybreak 92.5. Fox News right all along.
The news you need. The host you trust. Getting it right all day and all night. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
You want Sinclair quality. You want Sinclair craftsmanship. You want Sinclair cabinets. Sinclair Custom Homes now offers their handmade, built in the USA custom cabinets without having to purchase a Sinclair custom home. You can now have the same high-quality furniture finished cabinets in your existing home. Upgrade your kitchen, your bath, your closets, even your garage. For details, visit SinclairCabinets.com. That's SinclairCabinets.com.
Hey, Sean Hannity here for DeVoe Cadillac. Now, you all know Cadillac is synonymous with quality. In fact, it has been the icon of American-made luxury vehicles for over 100 years. Now, DeVoe Cadillac has been in business for over 50 of those years. Now, they serve Southwest Florida as a family-owned and operated business. They've done it the whole time. The DeVoe family has embraced the same commitment to quality that Cadillac represents. Listen, I could drive whatever I like, and guess what? I choose Cadillac again and again and again because I love my Escalade. I really enjoy the comfort, I enjoy the safety, the style, and that's why, let's see, I've already purchased over 10 Cadillacs in my life, and my go-to dealer in Southwest Florida is DeVoe Cadillac. Now, I know they're going to take great care of you and your new Cadillac with expert service from the people who know it best. Get to know our friends at DeVoe Cadillac, your Cadillac dealer right here in Naples.
Attention Medicare recipients. My name is Todd Van Owen. I live, work, play, and volunteer here in our community. New to Medicare, the area, have questions about Medicare Advantage plans, supplements, prescription drug coverage, need a primary care doctor or specialist? Call me, Todd, 896-3100. Unlike football and TV personalities claiming to know Medicare, I've got over 20 years of local experience educating and enrolling folks in Medicare plans. Call me, Todd, at 896-3100. That's 896-3100.
Rock Solid wants you to be our customer. At Rock Solid Countertops and More, $9.99 gets it done. For a limited time only, get a full set of kitchen countertops from $9.99. Installed. Rock Solid guarantees to beat any competitor's prices, including installation. So come see Hugo and his team in Naples. And now serving Port Charlotte at 4135 Tamiami Trail. Visit Rock Solid, where $9.99 gets it done.
IRAs have always been a great way for investors to direct their investment dollars into real estate investments. But that option is under attack in Biden's new Build Back Better plan. Ty Lassiter here from Key City Capital to give you the details. Many of our investors choose to use a self-directed IRA to place their investment dollars in Key City Capital because they love the double-digit returns that we deliver. However, if Biden gets his way, the new stimulus package may limit or even remove your freedom to invest with your IRA dollars in most real estate investments. But rest assured, Key City Capital is hard at work to deliver the promised returns to our investors.
Call Key City Capital today for your free tax and wealth analysis appointment at 239-330-2080. That's 239-330-2080. Check us out online at kcap925.com. That's kcap925.com.
Chevy sales, Marty speaking.
Who's got monumental savings on every Chevy in stock?
Let me guess.
You got it, buddy. Victory Lane Chevrolet.
So, I've got savings too.
Okay, but yours aren't monumental. You just mark up the original price.
You spying on me?
Don't have to. I read your reviews.
Who cares?
Well, apparently you don't. So car buyers head to Victory Lane for no payments until June on all new Chevys and a hassle-free experience. Plus, Victory Lane pardons bad credit with their goal, 100% credit approval. I just wish they could pardon your reviews.
I got a review for you. 0 stars.
Oh, so he does read his reviews. Get monumental savings at Victory Lane Chevrolet. Make no payments for up to 120 days. Shop new Chevy Silverados, lease from just $399 a month. Victory Lane Chevrolet, on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Find new roads. Online, victorylanechevrolet.com. 36-month lease must have current lease and household. $2,000 down plus tax and fees with approved credit. All offers on in-stock vehicles. Offers cannot combine. Ends 2/28/22.
Youthful, energetic, happy, sexual, strong, physical, no fear. Taking the bull by the horns.
Old, tired, joint aches, overweight, wrinkled, depressed, sex. I remember what that was.
In men, low testosterone can lead to muscle loss, extra body fat, fatigue, depression, and erectile dysfunction. In women, hormonal imbalance can similarly cause extra fat around your middle and thighs, lack of desire, feminine dryness, and exhaustion. Suboptimal hormone levels are associated with the development of disease states like osteoporosis, heart disease, and stroke. At Neogenics, we specialize in testosterone, growth hormone promoters, bioidentical hormones, and nutritional programs designed to correct these imbalances and make you feel revitalized. See why patients from across the country are coming to Neogenics and take the first step to feeling great again. Call Neogenics for a free consultation at 277-9999 or find us online at neogenicmd.com. That's 277-9999. Neogenics, rediscover your youth.
We're so glad you set your radio right here. 92.5 WFSX Estero. Fox News. Right all along.
This news update is presented by New South Window Solutions. Find them online at newsouthwindow.com.
Wink News, traffic.
Your morning commute getting busy along I-75 southbound, heading through Estero through Bonita Springs as well and down into Collier County. A lot of backups close to mile markers 120 and 119. Also seeing delays building through Cape Coral right along Diplomat Parkway. There's a crash at Diplomat Parkway East at Commerce Drive, so watch out for some activity there. Heading through 4175, not too bad across Lee County. If you're up through Charlotte County, pretty quiet as well, but heading through Alligator Alleys, we're going to see some fog out there on the morning drive. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Teresa O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After yet another day of record heat yesterday, will be just as warm today as highs climb back into the upper 80s, some of us touching 90 degrees for inland areas. Look for another quiet and dry day of weather, a mix of sun and clouds as winds persist out of the southeast to northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We keep it nice and dry for your Friday evening plans, but very mild. Temperatures in the 70s once the sun sets, only falling to 65 as we wake up on your Saturday morning. Tomorrow, another day of record-breaking heat, 88 for a forecast high. We keep with the heat into the end of the weekend. Sunday featuring a high of 87 degrees. In the dry weather persists through Saturday and Sunday as well. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Leftists make you fret? Check out rightallalong.net, the new web home for 92.5 Fox News.
Everyone understands that when you buy more, you should pay less. It's called a volume discount. Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window, and we would like to make and install your windows. New South offers volume discounts for homeowners. The more you buy, the more you save. Our discounts start at the fourth window, and from there, the savings grow. New South can do this because we own our factory, and that's the power of Factory Direct. Award-winning, energy-efficient windows that will save you money and protect your home. Our windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers, and we guarantee them for life. Visit us at newsouthwindow.com.
With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now, there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E. Available at Navage.com.
Eating dinner in your underwear?
Honey, put some clothes on.
Taking cold showers every hour? Or pitching a tent in front of your refrigerator to stay cool. These are things you can do to beat the heat in your home. Or get a $49 preseason tune-up with no breakdown guarantee.
I love Cool Today.
Call it today, cool today. Visit cooltoday.com.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Naples.
At the NCH Heart Institute in Naples, Florida, we are transforming cardiac care. Offering the most subspecialties in Southwest Florida, the NCH Heart Institute was named one of America's 100 best hospitals for cardiac care for the 7th year in a row by Healthgrades. We are elevating the patient experience. We are becoming the premier destination for cardiac care. The NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your other options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-819-1120. That's 800-819-1120. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-819-1120 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Southwest Florida's summer boating season is around the corner, and it's time again for the region's largest springtime display of boats, accessories, gear, and gadgets. It's the 33rd annual Bonita Springs Boat Show, March 3rd through the 6th, on the grounds of the Bonita Springs Poker Room. All outdoors with plenty of room to see hundreds of boats from all the major dealers, marine accessories, engines, boat lifts and services, plus fishing seminars by Coastal Angler Magazine. New to boating and have questions about where to go and how to be safe on the water? What do those markers mean? What are wake zones? Visit the new Know Before You Go display and talk to the experts. Your last chance before summer to see all the boats and gear on display in one place, and the perfect time to get your boat on order for the return to Florida in the fall. It's the 33rd annual Bonita Springs Boat Show, Thursday, March 3rd through Sunday the 6th at the Bonita Springs Poker Room, Bonita Beach Road between I-75 and US 41. Visit BonitaSpringsBoatShow.com.
Tell you about my water heater?
Not lately.
I'm supposed to take it for granted, right?
Well...
Until it stops working, which it did.
Been taking care of it, though, right?
What?
Professionally flushed out every year?
Nobody told me that.
I thought everyone knew
What
that.
else don't I know about water heaters?
Dave.
Have to scrape off the barnacles?
Dave.
Next you'll tell me I need to change the timing belt and upgrade the firmware just so I can enjoy my rainfall shower head with water that's maybe just a little warmer than actual rain!
Dave, so what's the best case scenario?
Best case? Okay, I make one call, someone comes out and fixes my water heater today. Maybe comes back to do that maintenance stuff.
That's best?
Well, yeah, but...
That's best. Best Home Services. They always have 4 plumbing trucks standing by waiting for last-minute calls.
They do all the...
Yes, they do.
GetBest.com. When something goes wrong, we're waiting.
So I can't take my water heater for granted?
Or your air conditioner.
What?
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Hey, great to have you with us. Drew Steele here live at Cpac 2022 in Orlando, along with the Mike Opelka.
Wow.
You once again get the title today. So
I do, but I can't believe it. You've got Mr. Radical Nation here. What are you doing talking about me?
Well, because Sean Spicer is here as well. Is that what you want me to say?
He is a big stinking deal.
I know.
The author, he's done so much.
I could have had him open the show, as a matter of fact. He could have just done it at this point.
I'll do anything.
Okay, is that okay?
Well, that's true, apparently.
Yeah.
Sean
I
Spicer.
mean, I don't know. When you're selling books, like you go to crazy lengths.
Yeah, there you go. Former White House press secretary, host of Spicer and Company, of course, on Newsmax, and author of Radical Nation. It's funny because, Radical Nation and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Dangerous Plans. I don't know what would give you that idea.
Yeah. Can I tell you the funny thing? Here's the funny thing, and Radical Nation is my third book.
Yeah.
When you write a book, and I've now, I don't know, I'm sort of weird because I say that as if I'm some kind of, I have an expertise in this, but each one fell into my lap.
Yeah.
But this one, when you write a book, you're hoping, so it takes about 6 months after you finish it for it to go to press.
Yeah.
And you're hoping or guessing or wondering what the environment's going to look like when that happens. And so you're going, okay, Radical Nation, because here's the premise of the book. This is what the background is of the Biden administration. This is the premise that I'm putting forward on where I think things are going and why, and here's the background on all these individuals. And so all of a sudden I'm watching things keep evolving, and I'm like, oh, wow, we nailed this.
Yeah, you did.
So you're either Nostradamus or Nostradamus, and you ended up being Nostradamus.
But the worst part about this, and I had this conversation with somebody, it's weird, I apologize because the travel, I'm like, was it yesterday or the day before, but it's not, you don't want this.
No.
Right.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, so it's not like you're like, I don't want a radical nation. And part of the reason I wrote the book was to basically say, here's how, in fact, the last chapter of the book is how we can kind of turn back the clock and fix things. But I don't want this country to fail. I don't want it to fail economically. I don't want it to fail on the world stage. I want us to succeed. I feel like, I tell people all the time, I want Joe Biden to actually do well. I just don't want him to be reelected, because when someone gets elected for 2 years or 4 years, they're in office. They set policies, and I don't want to suffer. I don't want my kids to suffer. I don't want your community to suffer or the state to suffer. So you want them to succeed, and then you just want them to lose, right?
Yeah.
But what's going on now, man?
Right.
I'm looking economically and domestically, and now foreign policy-wise, and go, holy smokes.
Yeah, and you know better than anyone that even when you're trying to be honest with that point of view, and even when you are trying to present a case that you're looking for the trust of the American people because you're presenting them with facts that you believe that are going to be a concern in the future, and you lay it out and you put it out there, and you say to them, listen, we don't want this to be the case. We don't want to be in this position that we're in with a leader right now who is quite honestly feckless, and we have to deal with what is happening globally and what we have going on, even with inflation and everything else that we see that's tangible. Because you have a media that right now is never going to give you that opportunity. Never going to give it to you.
That's the thing that's so interesting about this. When you look at the questions, and I watch these briefings, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Now, yesterday, a story came out that at least gave me some explanation for this, which is that top executives, meaning the president and the other senior executives from CNN and NBC, had flown to Washington, D.C. to meet with Jen Psaki and her agent about hosting a program. And you realize, okay, this explains some of it, which is we're basically grooming you. We want to hire you so we can't embarrass you.
Yeah.
But think about that. Someone who is actively asking questions in the press briefing room now has to think, hey, that's my potential future colleague, so I have to be careful what I ask them. That's why, so I need to kind of maybe back off a little bit.
What Sean Spicer is talking about here is the story we mentioned briefly, is that Jen Snarky, as I like to call her, is or Peppermint Patty, as Ted Cruz likes to call her, is up for and under serious consideration to take over the Rachel Maddow slot on MSNBC, which is astounding that it's happening. Now, if this were happening in pro sports or in college football, they wouldn't be allowed to have those talks.
No, but the funny part is, the way it normally works, I mean, look, I'm a host on Newsmax, so someone could say, well, Sean, that's stupid that you're saying this, because but I had announced I was leaving.
Yeah. Right.
First of all, I didn't get my job with Newsmax till 5 years after I left, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Dana Perino, I think it was 3 or 4. I mean, so the idea that you're sitting in the news in the press briefing room, continuing to brief and take questions from these reporters.
Right.
You haven't even announced you're leaving yet.
Right.
I think that this is highly inappropriate. But again, who's going to critique it? You think the people that are interviewing you to go to their news organization are going to say, hey, it's wrong?
Right. Never going to happen.
But think about it. Drew, you brought this up. Think about it. You're not getting the stories or the news because they don't want you to see it because, well, we don't want to endanger our future potential employee from, with either an embarrassing question, but we also don't want to tarnish the reputation.
Now, as a guy who stood up there and took those questions,
I was thinking the same thing.
Would you envision Peter Doocy asking, so do you think you're going to take the Maddow gig? Will anyone in that room ask that question?
Well, no, the only one would be Peter. Right. But you realize the funny thing about this, and again, it's just weird sometimes to talk about it because I don't like to dwell on things like this, but it is funny to think about it sometimes. When you have an entire briefing room, and there's 49 seats there, plus when I was there, you could tell just by the pictures that you would cram in every nook and cranny to get, okay, so let's call it 100, but with Jen, there's, let's say 50, just to be fair. When at the end of the day, you can only find one person that asks you quote-unquote tough questions, and frankly, what Peter Doocy does is just ask the question that I think that you or Drew would ask, or anyone for that matter says, hey, given the day that we're having, could you explain X? Right. It's not a tough question. It's just actually the common sense, reasonable question. And for some reason, that's considered, but that tells you where the rest of the questions fall.
The bar has been moved.
If that's the tough question,
right.
What are the other ones?
Right, and the fact that he's asking these questions that demand answers, and it's not like somebody would say it's a gotcha. It's not even a gotcha.
No.
It's just like, you said this just the other day, and I'm following up with this, so can you explain to me why the White House is saying this? But now you're saying this. Just answer the question.
That's what I'm saying. That they call that a tough or snarky
right.
or hardball. It's like he literally says, you said X the other day, you're saying Y now, how do you reconcile that? And they go, oh, there's Doocy again. Yeah. It's like, no, dude, that's what everyone in America is thinking that has a brain.
And as the president's sitting there too, and when he's getting questions as well, and he puts that face on, the snark, and he's kind of has his eyes closed and he's shaking his head because he knows what's coming. And I guess there's 842 million Americans who are shaking their heads with him because that's how many people voted for. Yeah, the ones that voted for Biden, clearly.
840. We did a count.
Yeah, so
independent count. 842 million votes.
It was hard.
I didn't know if
it was hard
that.
to get. You haven't. Okay, but the point is that ultimately, the thing that's happening now that led me to some of what we've talked about this morning, which is I really do believe that politically speaking, we may see people getting off the sidelines and into the game as we've never seen before win.
I agree with you 100%. I live in Virginia.
Yeah.
And this movement that I think definitely had some start in Loudoun County, Virginia. I think parents, and you look for a silver lining something with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I think parents engaging in their kids' homework and class curriculum has created a movement that is getting people not only active but then running for school board, etc.
And it has caught on. I was worried that Loudoun County and Bucks County in Pennsylvania, which were the two outliers for me in the parents' revolution, would then be forgotten. But it appears like it's only planted seeds, and we're seeing the green shoots of that now. And as you said, people are running for office, and hopefully that will lead to momentum through the fall.
I think it is, and I think it'll continue because for those reasons. But the thing that I also love about it is sort of a political geek, is it made school boards cool again. It made running for town council, running for state legislature. For so long, I've been in politics. My first race was in '92. That people wanted to run for Congress, the House, the Senate, governor, whatever. That's sort of the flashy offices. Now people are like, I'm running for school board. I'm running for town council.
Right.
That's where real things matter and where we can have an impact because the left has recognized that that's where you can really get in early and start to infiltrate what's happening with kids and create an army of folks early.
So renaming post offices like Congress does, not that important when compared to CRT indoctrination?
Well, I don't think you can ever underestimate the power of renaming a post office.
Or a high school if you really want to go there.
By the
way, there was post office news, by the way, I just heard about. Yeah, I guess the post office is, the White House is like, you got to go green. You guys need to go pick up some electric vehicles for the post office. And the post office is like, yeah, we checked everything out. The cost is too much. We're going to be having gas powered. They'll be fuel efficient. Don't worry about it.
Well, they've got enough money now because every test was sent via priority mail. All those 200 million.
Were those driven, though? Because I did it just to see how long it took. I mean, if those came by a car or a truck, I'd be amazed. I thought they came by like a mule. I mean, it took 8 weeks. I mean, 8 weeks to get a test.
The Amish run the postal system in my neighborhood. So yes,
I'm
we
not
had
kidding.
buggies.
I was just like, what did you guys carry these to my house?
Well, we got my wife sent in for some, and I sent in for some. Hers came from China. Mine came from Korea.
Really?
So we spent a lot of money on China.
I'd check because I bet you the Korean ones just got sent via China. I mean, from China via Korea.
My wife goes, what if the Chinese are putting the virus in the kit? And I said, oh my God.
Man. Can I tell you this, though? This is the funniest thing. I had this, we were discussing this on Spicer & Company on Newsmax a couple weeks ago, that the members of Congress under Pelosi's leadership were given masks made from China, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's bad enough. That some numbnut literally was like, you know what? Hey, this is a good idea. Like, let's use taxpayer dollars. But then when you got the mask in the package, and I had Congresswoman Kat Kamick from this area on the show, and she holds the package up and is like, no, it gets worse. There's a QR code. Literally a QR code, and it says scan us to share some information. Like, and it's the masks come from China. They hand them to members of Congress, and there's a QR code that says scan us so that we can like stay in touch with you. And I'm like, hey, dum-dums, like, what do you think they're doing?
What are you doing?
And then the kicker is they're expired.
Yeah.
They literally on the back said
perfect.
They're expired.
Perfect.
Of course they are. I know you've got a dip right now. You can go ahead.
Don't think it's you. It's me.
It's you. I'm going to get him in trouble.
I see a man about a dog. No,
Okay.
I actually have something I have to go do. But
Oh no, that's as awkward. though.
Stay with it
It
is
is,
awkward. He leaves, I stay, and
Oh,
I stay with
okay.
you. No, we're staying.
Okay.
He's going.
I should have told you earlier.
You should have.
But
Sean Spicer
Now I'm
joining
gonna
us.
watch where you head.
Big fan.
Former White House press secretary, host, of course, of Spicer and Company on Newsmax and Radical Nation, a book that if you read now, you would say, "Oh, this has all been spelt out." I guess we have
written 3 books.
right 3 books. All right, and the third one leads up to this moment that we're into right now, which is.
I will say this: the
yeah.
thing about the book that's interesting to me,
Yeah.
that I enjoyed,
Yeah.
was giving people the background. It's sort of like you get I like to call it the why. You're like, oh, now I get
Right.
why they're doing this. Because once you understand some of the people that are running this place and their backgrounds and their motives, you understand. Because too many times people look at me and go, "This doesn't make any sense." But once you understand who they are and what their backgrounds are, you go, now I get it.
Yeah, and when you read a book like this, the one thing that I always take away and that's so important to me is not only the why, but it's also the answers. I need to know what happens next. If
Right.
you're somebody who you don't even have to be a politico, or you don't even have to be someone who's getting into politics, because you have your bubble, you have your sphere in your family, in your neighborhood, the way that you have to speak to people and not be shy and be bold. And I've said this a long time when people say, you can't talk about religion, you can't have that conversation with it. No, you can have that conversation.
Right.
You can do it the right way. You can have your point of view. You can't talk about politics. No, you certainly can.
You have to talk
You
about
have to.
politics. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Considering what the left is doing now, if you don't engage, that's their whole goal. I mean, cancel culture has an ultimate goal, which is to silence folks on the right from engaging. And I think part of it comes down to the fact that the policies of folks on the right yield a better result.
Yeah.
And the left knows that. They can't argue policy anymore. It's all personal. It's, this person's a jerk. This is why they're bad. And so if they can't cancel you, they know they can't beat you on policy. So, hey, let's just cancel you out.
Yeah, and I wonder if that happens too with certain individuals and groups where you are told by one side, or they see the politics that's thrown at them, and they're told that their life is miserable, it's awful, this is an awful country, it's an awful place to be. We look at what's going on with CRT. I homeschool, so it's different for me, and that's a whole other story. But when I see what's going on with education, and something in many ways that we've been fighting for a long time, we've known that this is what's been happening in the education
Right.
system, but now it's become tangible.
You know what the funny thing is, Drew? I wonder how much we've known. I mean, I think to some degree, maybe more people.
Yeah.
Because I read stuff, I see things now, and I'm like, holy smokes, really?
Yeah.
Like, maybe I didn't want to admit it, but when I see some of the stuff now come out, it's about what's being taught, the exercises kids are going through.
So the books, even the books in the library.
The books,
how
but I'm
long
going,
people have
wow,
been
like
talking about
that's
that.
like so. I'm constantly amazed, going, there's no way that's really happening in a public school.
Yeah, and it's shocking, and the way that, and the point for me was that when people are being told something for a long time, and they're told that you're being held back from opportunity, or the country is bad, or this administration was awful, and don't you long for, you don't want the mean tweets, or whatever the case is. When things become tangible, when inflation hits and prices are there, and it now is hitting their pocketbooks, their family, their kids that are coming home. My neighbor across the street, when the 9-year-old comes over and asks the mom across the street, what's gay? She's 9 years old. That's one thing that they're talking about to me and asking the question. My son says, now I have to explain that to him.
Right.
And that's not where that should be taking place. These things are real and tangible. Families are seeing this. So that's where that change is now coming, right, where people are getting involved and saying, listen, I'm off the sidelines and I'm in the game, and right, I'm good with that.
Well, because I think part of this is that when I grew up, you went to school and you learned subjects, and and we had something, I think it was called like life sciences or something, and they talked about like bodies and whatever. Right. But now they're going and they're talking about things that, frankly, I think, one, should be discussed with families.
Right.
Two, I think are age inappropriate in a lot of cases. And three is, I don't really want some person that I don't know, whether it's a public school teacher or some other person in that system, to be making a decision about what a child should or should not be doing, or the decisions or the the North Star that they should have, right? And so them saying, no, you're right to think this, and you should do this. Like, it's a parent's job to teach values to their children, not a teacher's job. And so in some cases, we did this segment the other day where you could go into a classroom and they were allowing the kids to have some kind of, it was called like a closet where the kids could change into, quote, their real
Superman,
self.
There's like a Superman going
and I was
into
like, what do you mean? Like,
booth.
that's not their job.
Right.
So I just think it's gotten way off the rails.
Yeah, and no doubt that when you see all of this coming to fruition, and you see it and it's tangible in the concerns that people have had with education, it's the trust in institutions. And I hate to say that a lot of times parents, if they're so busy and they've got jobs and they have to go to work, and so they basically hand the kids off to these institutions and say, listen, in 18 years, make them good people.
Right.
Because I can spend some time, but I can't spend all the time.
But that's how it always was.
Right, and it's changed.
I know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point, though, is that the left has figured out that there are institutions, and education being one of them, K through 12, where people believe in the system, and therefore, if we can infiltrate it, no one will, get hip to the joke.
Yeah, no doubt. Sean Spicer, you've been absolutely generous with your time. I appreciate you being here. Radical Nation, get the book. You'll read the book and go, whoa, wow, okay, and you'll see, and then answers, right, and the whys and the answers that you need to have, and we appreciate a few minutes of your time. Thanks
Absolutely.
so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you again soon.
Appreciate it.
All right, it's Drew Steele, Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News Live from Cpac 22, 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
Yep.
It's all right here at 92.5 Fox News. We've been right all along.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom, too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano believes winning cases is no accident. Your case is important. Pick a firm with resources to actually prosecute your case. If your case is accepted, you're guaranteed to not pay a single penny in fees or costs unless you get a favorable settlement or verdict. Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano has over 35 years of experience handling personal injury cases in Florida. Visit ldtlaw.com for a free consultation today. Winning is no accident. Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano. ldtlaw.com.
As a great poet once wrote, choosing one path over another makes all the difference. Now consider that each space reimagined by Closet Factory brims with features, each of which reflect a choice made to make things more efficient. The result? A room built of dozens of good choices that, by design, don't just keep things in your home more organized, but in living with it makes you more organized. Designed and engineered for a better you. That's how we build it at Closet Factory and closetfactory.com.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. Over the years, I've had people complain about my commercials in some very strange ways. Someone didn't like the fact that we say we're the company your neighbors use because one of his neighbors didn't use us. Someone else complained that I thank God because he thought God had nothing to do with it. Well, folks, my message is very clear, that we are the company that's been in your neighborhood for decades. We do thank God every day for all the wonderful people we interact with, and it is because of God, not because of me. If our commercials bother you, my sincere apologies. But we want to get the message out that Kobe is the most trusted name in this business since 1949. And the Kobe Cooling Team is 100% NATE certified mechanics. The only team in Southwest Florida, period. When you think of air conditioning companies, we do want you to think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use, or should, license CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949.
When listening to the radio in your car, remember to always drive on the right side of the road. Keep it here on 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News, traffic.
An
Major backups westbound coming out of Lehigh Acres, Buckingham, and Gateway toward Fort Myers because of a crash right now at Daniels and Gunnery, and then a lot of delays approaching Gateway Boulevard. But Daniels may actually be your best alternate route westbound to avoid Colonial and State Road 82, seeing stop-and-go traffic for a good few miles from the crossover of 82 and Colonial. Lee Boulevard coming out of Lehigh, approaching Treeline Avenue, and then closer to 75. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Teresa O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After yet another day of record heat yesterday, will be just as warm today as highs climb back into the upper 80s, some of us touching 90 degrees for inland areas. Look for another quiet and dry day of weather, a mix of sun and clouds as winds persist out of the southeast and northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We keep it nice and dry for your Friday evening plans, but very mild. Temperatures in the 70s once the sun sets, only falling to 65 as we wake up on your Saturday morning. Tomorrow, another day of record-breaking heat, 88 for a forecast high. We keep with the heat into the end of the weekend. Sunday featuring a high of 87 degrees. And the dry weather persists through Saturday and Sunday as well. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
This week, there's a new attraction in Orlando. But unlike those famous places that trade in fantasy, Cpac is bringing a breath of fresh air, coming in from the right. Cpac is back, and we're there live on 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
Hi, I'm Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes. You've heard me say we're the working and retired person's country club. This means coming in for a meal, a drink, or with a party, and we will obtain your complete satisfaction with our food, service, and value. We strive for excellence with your service experience and our food. So on the rare occasion we fall short, tell us and we'll fix it. Plus, at Stevie Tomatoes, there are no pretenses, no attitudes, high prices, or rushing you in or out. Come relax, enjoy yourself, and be yourself. At Stevie's, we love meeting the men and women who currently and in the past work hard to make America great. We appreciate their values, honesty, industriousness, and affection for this great country. So head to Stevie's, where we strive for excellence in everything we do. I guarantee it. In Naples, Fort Myers, and Cape Coral. Come, come, come.
Stevie Tomatoes, sports page. Come for the food. Stay for the sports.
Searching everywhere for great prices on appliances? No, you're not, because you have better things to do. Besides, Good Deals has it for less, and they have plenty of items in stock despite shortages everywhere else. Remember, Good Deals guarantees the lowest price on everything they sell. Find a lower price anywhere, and Jay will beat it, guaranteed. Visit one of the showrooms in Fort Myers, Naples, and Cape Coral, or shop online at gooddealsappliances.com.
Good Deals, appliances. Have we got a deal for you?
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Do you value professionalism and punctuality? Want to learn from and work with the best pros in the electrical industry? Then you're just who we're looking for. Mr. Sparky is seeking hardworking, committed, and trustworthy individuals. With industry-leading salaries, benefits, and growth potential, we also provide ongoing training. So come join our team at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
An equal opportunity employer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Some people say bigger is better. When it comes to buying a home, a TV, or an ice cream sundae, wouldn't you rather go big? Insurance companies think that because they're bigger, they can pay injured people less than what they really deserve. But guess what? We're big too. As America's largest personal injury firm, we know that our size matters. If you're going up against a big insurance company, you need a big firm fighting for you. And when we win big, you win big. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
covering all phases of Cpac with the help of great sponsors like All Phase Electric Service. Now back to Drew in Orlando and Cpac on 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
It's CPAC 2022. It is Drew Steele along with V. Mike Opelka. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along, and somebody who is right all along and always, and fantastic to see him sitting here with us is Dr. Sebastian Gorka, of course, host of America First on the Salem Radio Network, Gorka Reality Check, Sundays at 7 p.m. on Newsmax. He is quite busy, so to get a few minutes with him is always a pleasure. Great to see you, sir. How are you?
Very good, guys. Very impressed with your setup here. You must have a really good producer.
Do you like this?
Who's your producer?
Do you want to know who this is?
Yeah, who's that?
Me.
No, I think it's a guy called John.
Oh, well, wait a second. Yes, on the audio side, John Cassio, who the great John. Which, by the way, do you want to join the conversation?
I think you stole him from another guy.
Did
you steal him from another guy who does radio with a funny accent?
Well,
is that right? Is that right?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Now, okay, this is fun. All right, so John Cassio.
Let them see you. Come
yeah, which, by the way, can I just say this? Yeah, you guys get snug. Go get next. Don't be afraid of him. Okay.
You know me. We've met before.
Oh, goodness. this is nothing awkward about this moment.
Setup. I'm so impressed, dude. That is way better than mine.
This is me.
I like that, Drew.
You're welcome. Thank you.
He's available for counsel.
Yes,
it's expensive, though, right? It's really expensive.
I also do bar mitzvahs and weddings. I do all kinds of stuff. Don't you worry about it. I'm good. By the way, the John Cassio, which I'll give you the moniker as well, happens to be an audience favorite, and I don't have you on enough.
I know you don't have me on.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have him on now.
You don't have me on now.
Why are you censoring me?
Oh, right.
Is this Twitter? What's going on? Are you Jack Dorsey?
What is going on here? Okay, check the microphone now. Check it now. Okay.
Am I on that narrative?
Okay, all right. He's good. All right.
He's being allowed
It takes
to
a couple of minutes.
I know.
After the compliments,
away from him. He's the star.
I was just going to say. Can I tell you something?
Not his thing. He wants to be.
Can I tell you something? Can I be honest with you?
I don't do morning radio.
Now wait a minute. Can I be completely honest with you right now? And this is and Dr. Gorka will confirm this. He has no problem. He has no problem with you taking his time and grabbing the mic right now for the audience. He'll sit and listen.
Can I give you some inside baseball?
You have a mic. Hold on. You have a mic.
He turned his on. Turn mine off. I get it. Rookie. I understand. When I joined Salem, nobody knows this except my team. When they made me the offer, and I thought this is, I'm not going to get a national radio show, and they offered me and said, yeah, and we're thinking of giving you the morning slot. Talk to my wife, because that's not happening. It's not happening. So you guys are the heroes. Me, 3 to 6 Eastern, I can hack it. This stuff, no, far too difficult.
I'll tell you what.
I can't believe we're sitting here with Dr. Gorka and the man who tells everybody at the bar, I created the Sebastian Gorka show.
Is this
this
guy?
is the guy.
John, it's JC.
Did you say at the bar? Do you know his life?
No, I don't.
He doesn't leave his room. He's so busy.
Because I'm working with Sebastian all the time. I'm just getting nonstop texts.
Please chain him down. Don't you chain him down in the morning? Like chained to the radio
station. Chain him? He sleeps there. He's got a cot.
You give him a cot?
Well,
it was a foam mat. Was it a little foam mat?
There's some budgetary issues. We're working on it. We'll get there.
We got him on my pillow.
Good.
That's not a bad thing. Boy, I'll tell you, we quite honestly,
you're having far too much fun for a radio. Can you stop it now, please? Stop. This is Biden's America. Just stop. No fun.
Yeah,
no fun.
We're not allowed to do that.
World War III has started. Stop,
okay.
Stop.
CPAC 22.
Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you what. The one thing that I love being here, obviously, when we get together and we have the opportunity to see each other, and certainly with everybody here, there's always an energy here. But this year, as we've described, there is also a fight. There's a fight that you can feel that people are ready to get into the game. They're ready to get off the sidelines. When you see the parents that are fighting at school boards, when you see others in the community, local, how important that is. I know national issues, people get hung up on that, but boy, the local as well. It is. I'm sorry to say that it took this for that to happen, this administration and the failures and the hurt. You feel the same way. You see everything that I'm seeing as well, right?
Look, I've given him far too much praise already, but I'm going to quote him again. I had Charlie Kirk on the show yesterday for just one segment, and he said, I asked him, what's your big hope. What do you want to see here at Cpac? And he came up with this line. I'll have to go back and check the exact phrasing, but he says, we've got to up our game. If you love America, it's not just politics, it's not just the school board, it's not just, specific policies. We have to take back the civilization. We have to take back the culture. My wife came from Florida's State House yesterday. We signed those 2 new bills to protect children in schools. When you hear stories of a 13-year-old girl being escorted through sex change therapy at school by her teachers without the parents being told, you go, I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what your politics are. That's wrong, and we have to stop it. And I just think it's a joy. I mean, I live in the Commonwealth, and to see in Virginia people who are waking up. They don't see themselves as political. Maybe they haven't even voted in the past, but they're coming and volunteering and saying, I've got a pulse, I'm breathing, use me, because we have to take back America. And I think Cpac is 18,000 people. Come on, this is the heart of it all.
Right, no doubt.
It's amazing to me to see it, and you in Virginia have a front row seat to the actual first seeds that were planted on the shift. Now, as you've gotten through the first month of this administration, the new administration in your state, are those people in the northern county giving up? Are they surrendering?
Are you kidding? They're acting as if they look. This is one of Saul Alinsky's rules. You never give up. You never give in. This is what we never learned from the left. Even when they have a victory, they keep fighting the next day. We kind of take a break and say, oh, cool, we've got a governor. We'll just sit around for a couple of years. No, they are doubling down in Northern Virginia. And it's going to be a hard fight because, look, to be honest, I've had him on my show for 3 months. His team didn't want him to come on my show. I shamed him. I texted Glenn. I got him on the show. He refused to use the word MAGA. Refused. He said, well, I want to make Virginia great again. So he's got his work cut out for him because he's clearly surrounded by some rhinos. But he signed that law on masks. What was that, 3 days ago? Yeah. Which is great. But it is going to be a battle royale every single day. Why? Because they never give up. They're extremists. Let's be clear. We have, quote unquote, 81 million voted for the sleepy senile guy. Okay, 81 million, right, whatever. But we have 74 million that we know of that weren't fraudulent votes. We actually outnumber the radicals. Yes, there are tens of millions of Democrats in America, but most of them are decent people. We have to deal with the crazies who are the loudest, and we have to understand they are a minority of a minority. The people like AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, they don't represent the average American. They're not average Americans aren't extremists. We have to crush at this midterms, at the school board. My wife, who hates public speaking, hates being in the limelight. She just came to me last week and said, our local cultural center is insane. They're doing these, what are these transgender nursery hours, the transvestite.
The drag queen story hours.
Right. And my wife said, I'm going to run for the local community center council. What? I fell off. You? That's what everybody has to do. Come on, guys. You said it. They learned it. That catchphrase from the 60s, all politics is local.
Yeah.
They got it. Yeah. I mean, when you have Soros funding local prosecutors, we just sat there for about 20 years. And, we woke up. Oh, the crazies are now letting people out of jail after they shoot a police officer in New York. What? Sorry? You shot at a police officer and you're on bail 48 hours later with $5,000 that BLM paid for. No, that's how they understood politics. It's our turn. It's now our turn to get local.
I'll say this, though, again. I hate that it takes this for it to happen, because these are the things we've always known. These are the foundations, where the ground, the terra firma that we stand on of our values that we know are right, of our politics that we've always known that are right, because we've witnessed in the past how successful they are in many ways, lifting everyone up. And the fact that we have this kind of headwind constantly that pushes against us, pushes against you, obviously, in the media and how they talk about...
But then you're winning.
Right.
It's what I said in the White House. When I have one journalist wrote 52 hit pieces on me in 2 months. You go, that's interesting. Maybe I'm doing a good job. Yeah. Right. I told they didn't understand. In the White House, I was treated as a pariah because I told everybody in the press team, don't set up meetings with me for the Washington Post. I'm not interested in talking to the New York Times. On the record, off the record, on background. Because if you're committed to destroying America, if you hate the man that 74 million Americans voted for, why would I talk to you? Right? We have to wake up. These people hate themselves, and so they project, right?
Yeah.
And they want to destroy everything we hold sacred. It's time for everybody to step up to the plate. And guys, we can do it. It is so... Let me tell you about Virginia. So I'm in a district where the district captain has been fighting for 5 years. God bless her. Rosie, if you're listening, you are a trooper. And she was going... If we didn't win in the gubernatorial, she was going to leave. She was going to move to Tennessee. So that's... I've done my 5 years. She really... The Drainsville captain, Rosie, she told me, in the months before the election, she had hundreds of people come up to her, mostly Asian communities, saying, I don't know anything about politics. I've never been involved with politics, but what I'm seeing is insane. How can I help?
Yeah.
That is the red pilling of America, people waking up, and we have to do that everywhere. It's possible. Everywhere it's possible. Look at what Larry Elder did in, 6 weeks in California?
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and they're out there.
$20 million he raised.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gavin Newsom had no limits and raised $200 million because they changed the laws. But if Larry Elder can get that close to shaking the establishment, we can do it anywhere.
Yep.
Dr. Gorka, looking outside of our country, and I imagine you might have some connections in Europe. I imagine you might know some folks. Are you hearing anything from the streets of other countries about what's going on in Ukraine and how people are nervous about where this could go beyond what's happening in Ukraine?
I've been receiving stuff, for the last 36 hours. Incredible footage from the people on the streets, the strategic bombers over the tower blocks in Kiev. I posted this shocking video of this girl screaming as the bombs were dropping on her residence. So, no, I mean, everybody who has a brain, anybody who understands who Vladimir Putin is, realizes, and I tweeted this yesterday, this is not hyperbole, this is just a statement of geopolitical fact. We are now living at the most dangerous time since 1945. We thought this was my parents' generation.
Right.
This is my grandparents. We thought, the generation that saw tanks rolling through the streets was history. That's World War II. That's Hungary in 1956. That's Czechoslovakia. Now, we've evolved past that. We're living in this, what is it, the Commonwealth of Nations the left likes to talk about. Oh, really? Along comes a guy with nuclear weapons and tanks and says, okay, I want that piece of land. It's mine. We are back in the 1940s, and people need to wake up.
Yeah. And how spoiled we have been to think that now could be the turning point for a generation that has no clue what it looks like and what it has looked like in the past.
No clue of what service is to your country.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was weird to me, and no one's really talking about this, Ukraine handed out 18,000 Kalashnikovs in one city.
Automatic.
Yes.
Fully automatic to civilian. And did you see now democracy said, this is good. I said, I guess the Democrats now like the Second Amendment. Isn't that great? Well, suddenly they like it. Well, over there in Ukraine. Not here. I mean, over there.
Yeah. But at the same time, that nation had to go ask for guns from the government. That, to me, none of this would happen here because guess what? Everybody's got their
It's Friday.
their
It's
arm.
Friday, right?
Yeah.
It's Friday. Friday is my Second Amendment day on the show.
Thank God.
We have a whole hour dedicated to it. Guy, look, my dad taught me to shoot as soon as I could pick up a gun safely. Why? Because he was arrested, tortured, and imprisoned by communists at the age of 20 and given a life sentence. We are the only nation on God's earth that has the guarantee of our ultimate freedoms in our Constitution. Because guess what, guys? Second Amendment. Not about whitetails, not about dove season. It's about taking out your government if they have become tyrannical. Did you hear me, Media Matters? Yes, taking out the government if it has become dictatorial. Like, that guy King George? Right? That's why we have it, to stop it happening here. And God bless everybody who fights for it every single day, the champions of the Second Amendment, people like Lauren Boebert and others, Marjorie Taylor Greene. this is forget the other civil rights. You don't have any of them. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, you don't have any of them unless you can remove a tyrannical government. So the Second Amendment makes all the other civil rights possible, and God bless our founding fathers.
Yeah, no doubt. Dr. Sebastian Gorka joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. We're here at Cpac 2022. He's going to be on the air hours from now I can't tell you how much, of course, we appreciate you getting up early with us here. And America First with a great program, the Gorka Reality Check, Sundays at 7 p.m. on Newsmax.
And check out my book, The War for America's Soul.
Yeah, no doubt.
War for America's Soul.
You want to spend the next maybe 10 minutes or so talking about this guy? Maybe.
Well, I don't know. Are you going to let him out of his cage today? I mean, can he see some sunlight? I mean, he hasn't seen any sunlight in ages.
Oh, yes, that's right. No, real quick, I want you to tell us how much time have we?
We got plenty of time. Okay. It's up to him. We got plenty of time.
Your station. Yeah, I know. You're right.
Should know if he's free.
Push the spots back.
Come over here.
Push the spots back.
Okay, I do want you to tell you.
You're not in camera view. You got to snug up.
Come on. I want you to tell you my favorite story that you tell is when you were talking to a military class, and you asked, "Hey, what's the biggest threat to America?" Right?
Well, don't tell the story. Yeah.
No, I know. Can you tell? Can you tell?
He's going to tell the whole story.
No. I just
He's going to steal my thunder on radio.
And then this happened.
Good night, everybody. You tell it better. Shut up, Gorka. I tell it better. Look, this was like 2 years before the end of the Obama administration, and I tell this story because people think, how did Mark Milley happen? How did we have the most powerful military officer in the world say, yes, CRT, I don't know what it is, but we should teach it at West Point. It's great. And white rage. And I'm going to call the Chinese before President Trump invades because that's my job. Did this happen overnight? No! It's been happening for decades. I served for 5.5 years in the Defense Department as a professor. I worked for the Marine Corps as a professor in Quantico. 2 years before the end of the Obama administration. So we are, what is that? 14. And I'm invited to do a culmination exercise for a 9-month postgraduate course for lieutenant colonels and colonels who have the MOS, the military specialty of strategists. So they're supposed to be the big thinkers in the bowels of the Pentagon. And they've been studying for 9 months, and we came to a hotel in Arlington, and before they get the diploma, we're going to do an exercise. And I was asked to invigilate, and I said to them on Friday night, I broke them into cohorts, about 35 senior officers who are meant to be the big thinkers in the Army and the Air Force. And I said, guys, in your groups, decide what the primary threat to America is. You get to decide, what's the num of all these things? What is the most important? Then on Saturday, privately in your groups, you write me the plan to defeat that threat. And then Sunday morning, you brief me and all your compatriots on how we're going to deal with that threat. I'm going to try and control myself because of the,
you didn't tell me this part.
FCC regulations. Because I flipped a lid. I went ballistic. I had more than half of these teams stand up in front of me, the cadre, and their fellow senior officers and tell me that the weather, that the climate was the primary threat to America. And I said, are you crapping me that Iran's about to go nuclear, China is building 2-mile-long runways on fake atolls in the South Pacific, ISIS is the biggest counterinsurgency, the biggest insurgency we've seen in the modern age, and Russia took Crimea. But the weather is more important. This is political correctness gone amok, and that's how you have Mark Milley. That's how you have recruiting videos for the Army about, hey, my name's Corporal Shirley, and my mothers were fighting for liberty a long time ago at gay pride marches. Yeah, that impressed Putin. I think that's why Putin didn't invade Ukraine, because we have corporals with 2 mummies in the army.
And they believe that
I see why that's your
biggest
favorite story.
See, he tells it really well.
Yeah, I can't even think
I'll
of
let
how
you do it next time. Next time, John.
No. Go ahead, John. Give it a try.
Well, it started with Once Upon a Time, and then it was all downhill. That's why we're worried about that. Oh, man. All right. Well, Dr. Gorka.
I just have to...
Yeah, quickly, go ahead.
I'm sure you reacted.
I blew up.
Okay.
I cussed them out.
Yeah. Did they, any of them go, you're right?
They were embarrassed.
Good.
They wanted the diploma.
They
Just sat there and they were embarrassed.
Yeah.
Maddening.
Well, I'm so glad that you had a few minutes to join us. Thank you.
Anytime, guys.
Time. We appreciate
we should do it more often.
Last time I saw you almost took out a Playboy reporter in the White House in the
you
garden.
mean reporter?
Yeah,
reporter.
There was almost a scuffle at the White House.
And I love the Secret Service, especially the uniform guys. They always looked after him. But there was one Secret Service guy who was just standing there. This guy was, jumping over the velvet rope, threatening me to a fight in the Rose Garden. And the Secret Service guy just kind of stared. Dude, you shouldn't have a fist fight in the Rose Garden, okay? Little tip for the Secret Service. Not a good look. Not a good look.
Plus, this guy was outgunned. Definitely.
He was drunk. There
was that.
I'm 6'3" and I'm at 260 pounds. This guy's a little weasel. I mean, come on. The guy was drunk or insane.
Yeah, and he starts his reporting with "Once Upon a Time," so that's the other problem as well. All right, great to see you again.
You too. Anytime, guys.
All right,
God bless all the listeners out there. God bless you.
That's going to wrap it up here. Cpac 2022. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to everybody who helped out. Great video work, whoever does that, and great audio work, John Cassio. You are the best. There's no doubt about it. And when you make an appearance, it is everything just spiked up big. So we appreciate it. All right, we'll see you soon. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
Orlando for Cpac, be sure to look for 92.5 Fox News. We'll be on the right side of the room, no matter which entrance you use.
Well, is the little pill working yet?
Men, these days could be a thing of the past. Hello, this is Dr. Lou Spangler at Neogenics. Recent advances in non-surgical treatment for erectile dysfunction, combining high-frequency shockwave therapy with the P-shot, which utilizes platelet-rich plasma, can help restore your virility. These treatments help restore blood flow to the penis and rejuvenate penile tissues, resulting in longer, stronger, firmer, more satisfying erections. Both treatments are simple, in-office procedures, and there is no pain and no downtime. You can resume all normal activities immediately after treatment, including sexual activity. Men, you don't have to suffer anymore. If you have erectile dysfunction or simply want to improve your sexual function, call Neogenics at 239-277-9999 for a free consultation. That's Neogenics at 277-9999. Again, 277-9999.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral have an important message for car buyers. In honor of President's Day, Sutherland Nissan wants you to keep more presidents in your bank account. It's the President's Day sales event at Sutherland. Get an entire month of savings instead of just a day. Shop our huge selection of new Nissans and certified pre-owned Nissans. Bring your trade, no matter what it is, and get $6,000 more for it. Your $4,000 car is now worth $10,000. Your $14,000 car is now worth $20,000. You get the full value and an extra $6,000. All at your #1 certified pre-owned dealer. Hurry in, ladies and gentlemen. These presidential savings won't be in office. We mean dealership for long. Get to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car mega store. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much. See dealer for details.
As a small business owner, your bottom line is always top of mind. So start saving by switching to Comcast Business Mobile. It's a mobile service designed for small business that can save you money with unlimited data for just $24 per line per month for 10 lines. Perfect for any small business looking to grow. Or you can pay by the gig. And with access to millions of Wi-Fi hotspots, you'll pay only for the data you need, with no line fees, activation costs, or term contracts. You can save up to $500 a year on your wireless bill, all on the most reliable 5G network. And it's only available to Comcast Business Internet